Opa! Welcome everybody to Stavvy's World. 904-800-STAV. Call in. We'll solve all your problems. We're in Los Angeles, part of the Stavvy's World Takes LA Hollywood Halkia series, where we get some of our favorites that live over here, and we are pumped to have Will Sasso on the couch. Will, thanks for being here. You don't understand. Eldest is so starstruck. We both are, but he doesn't give a fuck about anyone. We were huge Mad TV guys.
Oh, cheers.
Huge Mad
Eldest.
TV guys
Well,
as fat little children. You know what I mean? Just fucking. I remember being very small and being like, I caught the tail end of Farley. And then they took my fat guy on TV away.
Yeah.
Very soon after.
Yeah.
Who's coming round the bend?
Mad TV always had a fat guy. Artie Lang.
Artie was there.
And me, literally, Artie leaves the show and it's like, we need a new warm body. No, must be a fat
Has to be
guy.
fat as shit.
Yeah.
And you were fat as shit back in the day.
Oh, I was good and fat. Good in comedy. Not just comedy fat.
No.
Like fucking, oh no, early 20s gonna fall over fat.
Yeah, no, seeing you alive really helps me. Because I don't got many. Many of the guys I looked up to that were fat as shit. I'm like, all right, if Sasso's still kicking, maybe I can turn it around.
That's fucking great. No, you know, it's interesting. Look, I'm a fan. I'm happy to be here.
Thanks,
I'm
man.
stoked.
Appreciate
We've been
you.
going back and forth a little bit on IG,
yeah.
and I haven't been through New York, and it was in a while, so it's been one of those things where I'm like, you know, had I been there, I would have hit you up. But I'm so happy to be sitting with you, and I feel like there's so many things that we kind of just, you know, have in common, not just because the business, but also, you know, I don't know, we'll get into it. But your background and you have immigrant parents.
Being Mediterranean. Yeah, that was another thing that shocked me because I was obviously just a fan growing up. But then like becoming friends on Instagram and seeing your stories where you're in Italy and you're not doing the typical, I'm gonna eat from all the East Coast Italians I know. They're like, I'm Italian, and they might have a vowel at the end. They're not. They're like, they don't speak. They say they're Italian. Sure. You know what I mean? They're eating chicken parm. They're eating like deep fried chicken parm. And then I see you, who
there's no fucking. You don't put chicken with pasta in Italy.
Yeah. I see you, and you just seem like a white guy. No disrespect.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know. You know, I just Canadian, I suppose, but still, I'm like
which makes you way whiter.
Which makes you way whiter. Yeah. And then you're speaking fucking Italian. You're like really speaking Italian. You're like, I'm with my nonna. And it's like some little Italian lady. I'm like, what the fuck? Sasso's truly ethnic and he's been hiding it the whole time. It's awesome.
My parents were this big and brown. And it's true. They immigrated from Napoli in 66.
Okay, nice.
My brother and sister, my sister was a toddler. My brother was a newborn. And then I came out, 10 years later or whatever. The mistake. And but the old man brought aunts and uncles. He was the only one who spoke English. He was in restaurants all over Europe and blah, blah, blah.
That's awesome.
Waiter, maitre d'. And so, the bulk of the family is back there.
Wow.
So I do have this Napolitan thing where my upbringing was extremely Napolitan. And
truly like old world shit. Like nobody spoke English in the house type of stuff.
I mean,
and you were at least the youngest one, so they were probably a little.
That's right.
By the time you came around, they'd like been in Canada for a decade. It sounds like.
Yeah, my mom was. My mom like a lot of women really. The housewives and mothers that stayed home while their husbands went out and worked in the 60s and 70s. They watched Sesame Street. They watched soap operas. And they learned how to speak, So, my mom had the most adorable little broken English accent. And,
love that.
And, the old man prided himself on being able to speak better English.
Right, wow.
Talk like this.
That I'm not familiar with. Every Greek person I grew up with actively hated America. They hated being here. My dad still, we I hung out with my dad. I put real FaceTime with him in for a while. We were kind of on the rocks for a while. Okay. And I'm like, surely I've imagined how bad his English is. And then he's just trying to order something at a restaurant. It's not even like a conversation. It's like it was, to be fair, Korean barbecue. Okay. So it's like a double language barrier.
Bulgogi is a hard word for anybody, right?
Yeah. But he still couldn't even make pleasantries with the waiter. But I respect that. Your dad was like, look, we're here. Yeah. This is a better place.
Sure.
than Italy. Like we're having a better life here.
Yeah,
you know?
he'd always romanticized coming out to the States or Canada. My father's father was a chef. And so he used to go over to Chicago and New York and cook.
Oh, wow.
But he didn't have papers. It was always, under the table or whatever, under the table. And
maybe a little, you should spice that story up. You could for Al Capone.
Yeah.
The timing's right?
For, your
grandfather,
right.
you know what I mean?
He cooked for Al Capone, and it was my grandfather was like, hey, this untreated syphilis is gonna make your balls melt off the side of your leg.
Al, use a condom.
Yeah.
And he's like, what is this fucking off the boat wop? No. Fuck you. And then if you'd only listen to you, we'd still have Al Capone around today.
Yeah, we'd still have Al Capone. And so Capone sent my grandfather back, and he told my dad, check out the immigration to Canada because they really relaxed it in the 60s. We had a massive influx of, a lot of Greeks, Italians, Portuguese coming into Canada, a lot in Toronto. But the old man had sort of the loose promise of a job at the Hotel Vancouver in Vancouver because he had this, resume that'd been all over Europe and he was a real hotelier.
So your dad and your grandfather?
No, my grandfather was there, stayed, back, and they
were both chefs?
No, my granddad was a chef. My father fancies himself a chef, but was waiter and maitre d'.
Gotcha.
And so he came over and like I said, I had cousins and uncles and aunts. So it was this thing there's whatever, and the immigrant experience, like being the children of immigrants, fucking shit, the gnarly sort of stuff that's still. They grew up during World War II, and they do things like, whatever. There's hundreds of stories, but we were at the beach every weekend in Vancouver, and not like the good beach where you have to pay for parking.
Of course not.
Like off the rock jetty that the ferry terminal is out at the end of. You just park the cars along the freeway, and shit. Like again, so many things, but like stuff that going back to Napoli, I'm like, oh. This is great because we're doing shit like, my Zionino, my Uncle John would take like a chicken wire fence and like bring it. And what's that for? Then pile up rocks. And then we're all going clam digging and picking mussels and shit.
Sick.
And then they're all over the chicken wire with the fire underneath and just lemon and
beautiful, dude. That's
you're there until midnight. And,
just hanging out. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. So was there any, you're the baby of this Italian family, right? Mm-hmm. Was there any pressure on you to did they want you to, what did your siblings do? Did they have that traditional immigrant, you got to fucking succeed, got to be a lawyer type shit? Or did they want you?
No, my parents were really do whatever the fuck you want, but love it. Yeah. So my brother and sister both, no one's in show business. And, my brother's in real estate. My sister is in interpreter services. And,
cool.
And sort of, a really big, inspiration for her was the immigrant story and finding interpreter services, of which there's so many in Canada because the government gives a shit about that.
Figure it out in America.
They
don't really fucking care.
You mean an interpreter will come to the DMV and help me?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, maybe not.
Dude. I didn't even consider that being possible.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
Because the whole thing, especially in America, it's like that the oldest kid is the interpreter. I truly would I would fill out paperwork from this time I was 12 years old.
You were the oldest?
I was the oldest.
Okay. And you have brothers, right?
2 younger brothers.
Okay. Wow, that's wild.
Yeah. So for me, it was definitely and again, I guess it sounds like a cheerier immigration with your family. You know what I mean?
When did your folks come over?
In the 80s.
Okay.
So they came, what happened was my mom's side of the family, they had moved in the 70s when my mom was younger, and she hated it. She her dad just took a job, and this is how Greek men behaved back then. He just got offered a job in America. He was in Greece. Yeah. Some guy at a coffee house got a sick job in America for you. And he's like, I'll take it. No, let me see what my wife and 20 and 17-year-old daughters think about this. Right. He's just gals, we're moving to America.
Amazing. Yeah.
And so she came back. She went back to Greece the second she could. I guess actually maybe they moved when she was maybe 19, and she came back when she was 21, met my dad. in Athens. They decided to come visit in 1981. Like, they're like, we're going to go for a year, save some money in America, come back to Greece. Just never came back. So it was like this weird.
It
was like this weird. There was no like the American dream. There was like, and the way my dad looked at it was like,
we're stuck in America.
Truly, my dad was like, not only that. I mean, obviously he wanted to do it, but as soon as shit started going bad, he was like, my fucking bitch in-laws trapped me in America. Like that's my dad has completely rewritten history where it's like it was never his idea to come to America. Meanwhile, he's still like, we would have been better off. Everyone in my generation does not have a job. The financial collapse, it's like everyone had 10 years of the worst. Like, you cannot argue that we would have been better off, but he still is like, I fucked up so bad. He like apologizes to me that we didn't grow up in Greece. I'm like, my life's fucking awesome, dude.
Sure.
If we were in Greece, I would be struggling to find big and tall clothing. I would be doing like the level of comedy in Greece is like sub Telemundo.
Sure.
I would be fucking. I would be like putting blackface on and chasing a midget around on television. That's what I'd be trying to do. Like that would be my career in comedy. But it's just like it's fun to hear a like positive immigrant story because
or you might have been like a guy with like like some big olive field who's like the funniest fucking. That guy's the funniest.
I might have just had a great life. I had some sunlight.
Yeah, dude.
Picking olives.
I think about it because it's like
nice tan wife.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
The quality of life, of course, in the Mediterranean, and all they do is drink olive oil.
They just hang out. Yeah.
And they're all just sun-kissed and happy. And it's of course, it's very different. I think about it a lot. Like just being there in the spring, like seeing guys that like on the street, like friends of the family and people I got along with. There was this one dude who delivers water on a scooter, and he's like this bigger dude, and he's got like the scooter. He's a big guy, and the scooter's like dropped because of him. And then he's got this fucking rat trap on the back with like tons of water, and it's like
just going up a mountain with no guardrails. Doesn't
just
give
like
a fuck.
Cobblestone up and down stairs and shit. And he's like. And the guy couldn't be more chill, I see him and we're in the area that literally my mom and her siblings grew up in, that one of my aunts is still in the old place that they grew up in. And it's that romantic, like right in Napoli, right behind like the Piazza del Plebiscito with it's just, with the clotheslines going back and forth. It's very Italian, very Neapolitan. And, this guy's just like, when I was leaving town, like I'm walking down that street and my wife and we're going back to the thing. We got to drive to Rome and then get out of there, and we're leaving the family, and it's gnarly and we're a little bit misty.
Yeah.
And this guy, hey, state forte, William, hey. I'm like, this fucking guy, they are so joyful there to be doing whatever. And he's got this like little like garage kind of corner store with just provisions and water.
Totally.
Couldn't be more chill. And I look at that guy and go, I don't know, maybe
his life is better. That is the actual damn dude. Maybe my dad is right. No, we would have still been miserable because we have, his genes and DNA. Like that's the thing. It's like wherever we would have been, we wouldn't have been good. But the Greek life is, and Italian, whatever. It's like there is something so nice about, because the whole American thing is you have to fucking. If you work hard as fuck and get enough money, you can take time off to go on the beach that this guy just goes to. Yeah. Like if I work really fucking hard, I can take 2 months off and live in Greece and like take a walk in the same street. And if this guy, like even the people in the generation that had their jobs weren't that great. It's like, they work a little bit. They fucking have coffee. They go to the fucking beach. Like my cousin in Greece, that motherfucker has a sick life. And he actually is an actor, weirdly. Like he's gotten into comedy. He's found one of the weird only comedy jobs in Greece that was not too far off from what I described earlier about what the level of comedy I would be doing. But hey, he's fun. He's good at it, whatever. I'm his life, dude. He would just go, he would just like work at a bar for 3 months and come back with less money. But he was just on vacation, just like he was basically just paying his way for a vacation. And there is the philosophical thing of like, work hard as shit to be able to go on vacations that people with less money just have that quality of life. And it's like, maybe that's it. Maybe that actually is it. Because they have actual community too. Like truly they know people. They still they're around it. And it's like, that's why my goal is to for real be a 3 months in Greece guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. But we're still a ways away. But it's like, you know, kind of what I'm saying is like shit goes good for another, you know, 5-10 years.
Yeah.
I start just fucking late summer, early fall. Don't even fucking try and find me.
I love it.
I'm on the fucking beach, baby.
I'm all for it, man.
Yeah.
This trip in particular was like a sort of a thing where my wife was like, we should really consider.
Yeah, dude.
And we're it's like we're whatever. I mean, it's like thinking, but we don't have kids, but we're trying for kids and stuff. So
that might even be a better reason.
Well,
like you might actually want to have kids there.
But also like they need to.
Smart move, younger wife, by the way.
Cheers, thank you.
You know, I appreciate that. You being like, I'm thinking about it. You gotta get a younger wife to be able to do that.
Yeah. So I you know, she's like. And she's, you know, from Northern California and Irish, you know, so she's like, but she took to the whole Italian thing and also did her DNA and has like a grandfather who's Greek.
Oh,
so
nice.
like a great grandfather. So she's always talking about, she's like, I want to go back there and see someone who's like, I'm like, you're not going to find some Irish looking, there's not going to be some, you know, lady who looks.
This guy's DNA has been bleached out.
Yeah, absolutely.
This guy's not, it's not,
there's not going to be someone there who looks like Jennifer Connelly.
No.
Serving you squid. So she's like, you know, we have kids, they need to know about this side and they need to blah, blah, blah. And maybe we could, you know, figure out, you know, like get a place for a little bit, you know, like that sort of thing. Because truly, like, and your cousin and the family back there, they do live incredible life.
They live a better life.
Happy.
It's not even close.
Yeah, we're going to the beach with, you know, and it was really nice because it reminded me of like childhood because you know, later on, everyone goes their separate ways. Not my aunts and uncles and all them, you know, my mom and dad and everything. They were all very tight. But the cousins, we don't do a good job of keeping together. But over there, they sure fucking do.
Yeah.
And, you know, we go to this beach and it's like, I look around and we're all just like, wherever, you know, sit here, sit there, like thing in a fucking chairs and everyone's sitting together and you know, people are bringing, you know, baked pastas and stuff like this and just stuff in buns
just
full of
hanging
mortadella
out.
And stuff. Yeah, and just like hanging out and then just going into the water and thing and you lose track of time and let's go get gelato and everyone's happy.
The day is perfect. The day, and my family, we have my uncle has just had untreated diabetes that has not let him slow down, has not slowed him down. One bit in terms, like he looks worse every time I see him.
Oh no!
But boy, oh boy, does that motherfucker know where to eat. Sure. And it was like having like a much less charming Anthony Bourdain like in the family. Like that's the cool thing about when you go over there. It's like they just know shit.
Yeah.
They actually like. They talk. They have like and we would just anywhere we were, they would take us to a beach and he would like route it to like a specific restaurant. And it's just like, he doesn't have fucking Yelp, Google, any of that shit. He's just like, I heard a guy makes incredible goat here.
Right.
So we're going to go check it out.
Yeah,
and he was always fucking right.
That's fucking great.
I did. Yeah. It is fucking awesome. Folks, you know me, you know, I'm trying to get about my nutrition. All right. Last year I took the whole year trying to lose weight. We're doing Stavvy Gets Ripped over on the YouTube channel. It's a struggle for me to stay healthy, shed some pounds. I lost some weight in the beginning of the year, and then I gained some back during the holidays and while we were filming tires. Before this tour started, right now as we're preparing for the tour, I needed to set myself straight, okay? Break my bad habits. That happened with me thanks to Factor meals. They're so easy. It's, you know, we were using Factor meals around here before they were a sponsor. I tried a bunch of stuff to try and get easy meals that come prepared, no fucking cooking, no bullshit. Just these are chef prepared for you, okay? It's perfect for your active, busy lifestyle. They have
They have over 40 options across 8 dietary preferences on the menu each week. It's fun. It is. You still feel like you're at the, you still feel like you're at a restaurant when you're putting together your order. You feel like you get to tailor whatever the fuck you want. I'm bouncing between Calorie Smart and Protein Plus right now. They also have keto if that's your thing. We're excited to have these with us on the tour. We're gonna have the factors ready to go in that bus's fridge, and we got something to heat up as we're traveling, as we're bringing great mirth and joy to the people. If you want to be like me and Big Eldo working in the booth right now, eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/Stavvy50 off and use code Stavvy50 off to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code Stavvy50 off at factormeals.com/Stavvy50 off, STAVVY50OFF to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box.
But and did you said most of your family's over there? Did you have relatives here too, or in Canada?
Yeah,
too?
yeah. They I had
you had a couple.
Yeah,
couple sets of cousins.
the old man was like, again, it was sort of his like thing to like. So there was 2 sets of like an aunt and uncle and an aunt and uncle, and then my Uncle John was 19 and he married my Aunt Kathy, who was Canadian girl. So, and there were already 6 kids were already born.
Yeah, wow.
That came over from, like my brother and sister were older, and 4 of my other cousins, if I'm not mistaken, were born there. And then, whatever, like 5 or 6 more were born in Canada.
So you guys got to replacing the population fast.
Yeah, and the Italians would come over and we would go there and so it was nice, growing up.
Did you have because we always had Greek school. Did they have anything like that, or you just learned Italian in the house, or they never made you go to after school?
No,
that's nice.
So we just kind of learned. I just kind of, and I speak kind of a broken. I don't have a huge vocabulary, and I don't speak good Italian. I only speak really Napolitan, the Napolitan dialect. Which those
that's
regional things are very different from one another. So in Rome, people are like, "What are you trying to say?
Who is this hillbilly?"
Yeah.
That's really because that's another thing that's super fascinating about immigrant shit is like a lot of the Greek I speak is like frozen in carbonite from the 1980s. Because my parents came in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely experienced this, Eldest, with Albanian, right? Like they speak like an old, you kind of speak like formal old Albanian.
When I hear like Albanians in the north speaking, like I don't understand it at all. It's crazy. And it's similar with like, I feel like Kosovars have like a thick accent too. And like.
Whenever you say Kosovar, it sounds like a slur because of the little Albanian hate you put on it. We also like to ask our guests, Will, what do you know about Albanians? Did they have any over in Vancouver?
I had no idea that you would call someone from Albania an Albaniar.
No, he's talking about Kosovars.
Oh, Kosovar.
He's coming
I already forgot the word.
Yeah, that's how little he respects Albania.
I know nothing about.
Interesting.
Sorry.
That's good. That's fascinating because Albanians, I guess, didn't make it to Canada.
No, yeah, I guess not.
They made it to Italy, though. I got family in Italy.
That is true because it's close. There's an Albania right there.
And then a lot of Albanians like fled to Italy in like the 70s or 80s or something.
They were mad when they found out it wasn't still fascist. They're like, what the fuck is this? I heard this was going to be a cool racist paradise. Now I'm the one who's at the bottom of the social hierarchy? This sucks. Interesting. I guess it's an East Coast thing. I bet you they have them in Toronto. That's the other thing about, I do feel like there's probably Albanians, but just because they're all over actually my Lyft driver was telling me they got Albanians here, which I didn't know.
Interesting.
LA having Albanians, I
haven't heard too much about Albanians in LA, but I bet we're everywhere, man. We're right under your nose.
Speaking of our heroes, wasn't John Belushi
That's
Albanian?
a hard one. Unfortunately, I do have to cede that to Eldest, and that really is a sore subject in terms of our Greek versus Albanian supremacy, which is a huge. Greek people are very racist towards Albanians traditionally, and that's our fun little thing we like to keep alive here on Stavvy's World. We like to keep old world, white on white regional racism,
white on white regional
Balkan racism.
That's a great joke. You know, my old man had my old man was like best friends with a Greek guy that he worked with who came over. Andy Dukas, his name was Dukas. Yeah. And he was great. You know, he looked like. Yeah, he was like, you know, he's a Danny DeVito type looking, you know, little guy with chest hair and the chains, the whole nine. And yeah, it was he was so awesome. Because my old man was very, you know, he's a very quiet guy.
Yeah.
And it was only when Andy would call the house or come over, he would call the house and he'd, you know, you'd answer the phone. Hey, good morning. Hi, Mr. Dukas. Hey, your father's his home. Yeah. And you know, and the old man would come over to the phone. Hey, good morning. Hey, good morning. That was like there was that.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And yeah, when those guys would get together, it was yeah, it was fucking Uzo and you know, Anisette and just fucking, you know, they go in the yard and they don't wear shorts in the yard. They just pull their slacks up to here to get sun. And their shirts all the way undone. And they both worked at Hotel Vancouver.
Love it.
Yeah, they were great.
That's a nice little bromance right there.
Yeah, it was awesome. And we would go to like Greek weddings.
They're fun.
Because of his family.
Yeah.
And then I remember the Greek word for sit is katse.
Gotcha.
And that means cock in Italian.
Oh, really?
Cazzo, hey, cazzo duro. So, which is, you don't say that in the house. So, cazzo. So everyone's like, cazzo. How come no one's upset? How come no one's angry? How come no one's getting slapped across the room for saying cazzo?
Wow.
Hey, cazzo.
Cazzo is cock. That's good to know.
Yeah, cazzo. Well, cazzo. We say but cazzo.
Still.
Ugats, you know.
Yeah.
Cazzo duro.
Oh, is that where ugats
Ugats.
From?
I think Ugats is
Ugats,
like my dick, like, you know, like, yeah, right, my dick.
Gabagool, basically. It's like a bastardization.
Of capicola. Italians say capicola.
Yeah, there we go. We got a real Italian here.
Yeah, when they say gabagool, you know, but whatever. Italians, look, the whole like Italian-American thing, look, again.
No, the episode of Sopranos.
Canadian, what?
I'm sorry to cut you off, but the episode of Sopranos where they go to Italy, one of the funniest. I don't know if you.
I haven't seen it. Can I? Let me admit something awful here.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting that you bring up The Sopranos. I'm on episode 2.
Wow.
I've never watched The Sopranos.
Around to it. Then you got that. You did that great sketch.
Cheers.
The Sopranos edited for TV. It was so fucking funny.
We did a lot of Sopranos. Yeah, we did. Yeah, where they can't.
Big
puss.
Like,
you can't even say. You know what the But yeah, it's weird. Yeah, I never watched it because I kind of. Back at Mad TV, you get like research tapes. You go and I watched the pilot back in the day because that's all there was to research the impression, and then did the impression. And this is even more embarrassing than not watching. My reason, but I just remember early on, like everyone going, "Oh, that fucking show's amazing." I'm like, I know. I bet it's incredible. I love James Gandolfini.
Yeah.
And he's incredible, and Edie Falco, and you know, it's like. For sure, they're just killers, and I just can't watch it. Why? This is so dumb. This is such an actory fucking thing. Because this is really
please.
It's a stupid,
Unburden
selfish
yourself.
Actor thing. Yeah.
Unburden yourself.
Maybe someone will call in with this kind of problem. I was doing an impression, but I'll be like, I know I would every time I would watch it, I would go, should have done that. He does that, not this. And I see plenty
for your impression,
right? So I see plenty of people that. Do a much better James Gandolfini, and it's like, oh yeah, no, he's more in the nose. I should have been more, or whatever.
Interesting.
Like, so that's just enough for me for half a second to go, yeah, I'll watch it, and then 20 years goes by.
It just would have annoyed you to catch things you didn't nail in your impression. Yes. Is that what it is?
Yeah, but maybe not for the past. I don't know, 18 years. Like I could have, like, what am I doing?
I mean, you could even say like it would have made you better at the impression.
Well, yeah, but then it's over, and then you're done with Mad TV, and then you're never doing it again, and so literally, that's like a weird thing It's like, yeah.
Well, dude, yeah.
Same reason I'd stop listening to Limp Bizkit, and I feel like I robbed myself because I did a Fred Durst impression. I'm like, ooh, I didn't get the nuances of
Two
Durst.
of the greatest American works of art.
Yeah.
And I'm Sopranos and
no, of course I listen to Limp Bizkit nonstop.
Fuck.
I'm not missing out on Limp, but and I'm really not.
Yeah. Sorry to
I gotta watch it. I'm sorry.
I think you're going to love. There is an arc where they go to Italy.
That sounds insane.
And I think what you were about to say is what that episode is, where the whole Italian American thing that you were getting at.
It's interesting, yeah. Mm-hmm. And we're watching it now because I can't. And it was one of those things where my wife's like, "What the fuck? Like we have to." Yeah. But I feel like. You know, and whatever, I guess, I don't know if this is a slur, but the Italians, the Italians in New York. And
I love it. I love sowing discord among your ranks. This is my plan.
Look.
Divide and conquer.
But in many ways, they're way more Italian than me because they have the family together and whatever. Sure. I think that Italian Americans are... You know, they have a pride there unto themselves that is extremely Italian. It's very family, and it's okay that they're cooking chicken parmesan, and there's no such fucking thing. But I mean, the parmesan. Good. The parmesan. First of all, you guys with the parmesan. What is that? No, parmigiano. It comes from. So and a lot of the eggplant parmigiano. You know, like maybe barely any cheese. Just a little,
just a little sprinkling,
little something. But because they got to go to the beach.
You do fry it, right?
Yeah. You got to fry it down and sweat it down.
Come on, don't fucking. I was about to have a heart attack if eggplant parm wasn't fried.
Oh my God!
Because I love a nice fried eggplant, fried zucchini.
Yes. Oh,
that's nice. That's
the thing about Mediterranean. You know, guys raised Mediterranean like you and me. I do feel like maybe this is different from a lot of the Italian Americans and sort of Mediterraneans that are in New York and shit or whatever for generations. We love greasy vegetables.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love
That's
it.
what's saving you and I from like it's just greasy vegetables.
And it's olive oil.
Clean
it's not deep fried. You have to flip it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's if
right.
you have to flip your vegetables, that shouldn't even count as fried.
That's not
as far as I'm concerned.
Submersed.
If the oil does not submerge it, it's fucking might as well be steamed as far as I'm concerned.
Well, and now it's so funny that it's like everything you hear is like, oh, olive oil is great for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, good. That's why my heart didn't explode when I was 18. So
yeah. Were you always you were a chubster from the jump?
Yeah, you
love. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There was definitely a moment. I was kind of chubby, and then like second, third grade, never looked back from there. we hit the ground running in second and third grade. Mm-hmm. I believe you were about the same, Eldis. Is that correct? Did you have a moment where you?
I don't know. Just when did I get like pretty fat? You know, like
because you're not as fat now as you had fatter times in your life for sure.
Maybe when I was a kid.
As a kid, you were fatter for sure.
But I don't know. I feel like I've always just been like tall, fat, goofy, like my whole life pretty much.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
How long have you guys known each other?
Oh, literally kindergarten,
pre-K.
That's awesome.
Pre-K, we weren't friends. I didn't like the cut of his jib in pre-K, but by
it was the beard. You didn't like his beard?
It was the beard. He was the one, I've said it before, but he was the only person who was like more foreign and poorer than me. And it was like me being like an elitist American who was like, who's this fucking refugee from Albania? I'm too fucking good to hang out with this. This cocksucker doesn't have Nintendo. What does he have to offer me? But very quickly, Eldis's family were a bunch of winners. They got themselves internet before my family. I had to go over to his house to sort of not even watch porn, but just like pull up bikini pictures of like Foxy Brown, and we would be like
Cindy Margolis picture that takes like all night to download,
and watch like MTV. They had cable before, because my family didn't get cable. The reason we got cable at all was because satellite TV could get Greek stuff, and that wasn't until second or third grade. So for most, when I was a little kid, we didn't have anything cool. Eldis had
guys
cable.
had the multicultural channels and all that.
They were trying to assimilate.
We didn't.
No, they didn't. They had straight up American cool shit. The stuff I wasn't allowed to look at.
Oh, you were watching a lot of great.
I had we got the most basic cable in third grade because it came with like the 3 Greek channels, and my dad would watch that. And so we got like, actually, that's when I got Comedy Central, and was watching like half-hour specials and being like a snobby, like as a kid. This is how much of a little fucking prick I was. I would watch it and be like, I could do better.
That's awesome.
I would be fucking.
That's awesome.
I would be literally 10 years old and being like, kind of lazy, like just such a fucking dickhead. But yeah, when I was like, 7, if I wanted to go watch MTV, had to go to Eldis's apartment.
That's wild.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you always know you wanted to be a comedian?
I think on some level, I mean, we did like school plays from the time we were like 2nd grade, and like I liked performing. I was always a fucking little fucking attention whore, like from being a bait. Like I would play like a little fake guitar in front of everybody when my mom would have her friends over.
Oh yeah,
they have video of me shushing. Another baby is trying to sing, and I'm like, It's kind of my time right now.
Awesome.
I'm like, back to the drums, pal.
That's freaking tremendous.
I was a fucking asshole. I was a diva as a fucking 3-year-old.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was always sort of like, and then I definitely did have the immigrant guilt stuff of, no, you have to get us out of debt. You have to be a lawyer. And I like tested well. I was good at standardized tests. So I think my parents mistakenly thought that meant I was like a genius. My mom I don't know if your mom was like this, believes in you too much.
Sure.
Like, thinks I'm smarter than I am by an order of magnitude.
Well, I think that has a lot to do with, it's interesting being an immigrant. When my folks came over, I feel like, like my brother and sister are 9 and 11 years older than me. And I feel like by the time they were, they're like 12, 13, they know way more than their parents do about the Canadian experience and being North America and an English speaking society and in the West, and I think that has a lot to do with it. I think that, and maybe it's specific to the time, but I think it applies in the 70s and also the 80s, that it's like, this kid knows the way things work in a way that I just don't. They've been in the system and savvy. So there is sort of this thing that the parents look at the kids and go, you know how to get moving here, right?
Yeah, you could figure this out.
And this test must mean a lot because they give it to you.
Right,
so that must mean it's important.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like by the time I was around, because I was the youngest, they were kind of like,
10 years younger is hilarious.
It was a different upbringing.
You were fully not planned at all.
No. And
we had a buddy who had a kind of a similar situation, immigrant, and then just like pops helped himself to one too many strokes. And out comes their little brother. That's you, man.
Yeah.
That was a little too much hanging out with his Greek friend at a wedding. That was a little too much ouzo.
Yeah, it's just it's good in the coffee. It's just, we're having coffee. I feel like later on, they were different parents.
Yeah,
it was probably extremely stressful. I know it was.
Yeah,
for them. And then when I came around, it was kind of like, what? I'm a fucking fat white boy. Thanks for the pasta.
I'm a big fat goofy white boy.
And
you must have been like the mascot of your family.
Oh, sure.
You were the baby. You know what I mean?
And I was a goof. My mom's hilarious. She's a very funny person, and her side of the family is very, very funny, very animated, always singing, laughing, dancing. They're just the whole, and my dad's side, not so much. So, but I definitely took after my mom's side and was, I was a class clown and all that shit. And it was just like, what I can do. And I feel like, this is why I ask, because I do feel like a lot of it is like, I'm going to do this. Yeah. Right? I used to watch movies and go like, oh here's my idols. They're fucking amazing. Yeah. But the guy that guy who's way down the call sheet, the guy who has like a run-in with your hero. Yes. I can do that.
I can do that for sure. Yeah. Put me in one scene.
Yeah.
Let me be the weird guy. I recently played a fat weirdo on a bus that the hot leads of a romantic comedy run into. That was like, that's the kind of shit that's like perfect.
Yeah.
Let me annoy two like 20 something actors by being like, by cursing at like some beautiful boy and girl. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of stuff we're, perfect for. But
you feel like, and you kind of as a performer, you're kind of like, what? That's what people are going to remember, right?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh yeah, there was a scene where the fucking guy gives the two people shit. I didn't care for them anyway.
Yeah.
I always say that my dream, like as a kid, if I could even just be the guy who's like, you can't park here. That's my guy. Like, you can't park here would be.
Yeah.
So anything above that has been way too fortunate for me.
Yeah.
Folks, I, like many people out there, love photographs. And there's no place I like to display my photographs more than the wonderful Aura frame. This one here, the Carver matte frame. It was named Wirecutter's #1 digital picture frame, and for good reason. It's easy to set up. You can see here I have a beautiful photograph of myself in Milwaukee and Eldis modeling former tour merch. Here's a picture of me and my dear friends Michael and Brendan as we're dressed up as green characters for last Halloween's episode. Just my most cherished memories, as you can tell. My family, my little brother just had here's AI Donald Trump and Joe Biden smoking kush together. And it's loading more photos. Me as a child, Susan Sarandon with her fat breasts out. Look, I'm a specific kind of guy. You're a specific kind of person. You put whatever the fuck you want on your Aura frame. I put whatever the fuck I want on mine, okay? And look, Greece. Oh, that's beautiful. Here's the best part. It comes with unlimited storage. You put whatever you want. Whatever you want, you put it on there. Just get a free Aura app and the Wi-Fi connection. Put as many photos as you want up there. And right now, you can save on the perfect gift that keeps on giving by visiting auraframes.com. For a limited time, listeners can get $20 off their best-selling Carver matte frame, this one right here, with code Stavvy. That's Aura Frames, AURA frames.com, promo code Stavvy. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. Awesome.
So it was like always acting and stuff.
Yeah.
You came up through like, I'm going to guess improv stuff? Or what?
Mostly just straight up acting.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
it was
awesome.
Weird. So in Vancouver, they shoot a lot of stuff, and they still do, of course. They shoot a lot of stuff now, and they did back then too. So I always wanted to be an actor. Cool. I saw, it's a very predictable list of like John Candy is my idol.
He's the man.
And then, from there, a very predictable list from, all the SCTV and Saturday Night Live and on down and Monty Python and all of it and in Living Color and Kids in the Hall but I really as a little guy was like watching, Candy and Aykroyd and Belushi and Levy and all of them and just being like, this is, and Cleese and everyone. And this is what I want to do. And then
that's awesome, dude.
But there was, I'd gotten to the plays and shit in high school and elementary school and doing all that and was really like, this is the only thing I want to do.
Yes.
And then, 14, 15, I started, kind of just crashing some auditions downtown and there was enough going on.
That's awesome. We
had a magazine, like just a paper, the Georgia Straight, and you go in the back and here's some things. And I would take the bus downtown because I was in a little, sort of a little enclave out there, farming and fishing town, like 30 minutes out. And I would take the bus and go to some audition and then, get fucking fries and gravy somewhere and be out of money. And then walk into the Hotel Vancouver where the old man was working in the lobby lounge back then. And I go, Dad. And he's like, hey, William, what are you doing here? It's like, it's school time.
Yeah.
And I'm
so
like,
you would cut to go audition.
Oh, fuck yeah. I never did any of that. never
That's
like got
awesome.
it like, oh, he has a thing. My parents didn't know about it. And then I had an audition. Dad, I had an audition for the season. Audition. What audition? What is the audition? What?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need, $1.50 to get, okay, don't tell your mom. Okay. And like later, and then I started booking some stuff, and I was fortunate enough to start working at like 15, 16. And then, you're supposed to go to school while you're on set.
Yeah.
And I just didn't I didn't tell the fucking school.
Yeah.
I just was gone for a week.
You were just truant.
Yeah. And then I would come back and they go, where was William?
Yeah.
And it's like, I was doing a TV show.
I love that, dude.
And they're like, oh.
What was the first thing? Do you remember like the first?
Yeah. First thing I did was I did 3 episodes of this show called it's just such a Canadian, it's such early 90s Canadiana to me.
Yeah.
It was a show called Neon Rider.
Love it.
And the pitch of this show was there's this Michael Landon type, this guy
So
with flowing
shitty
hair.
Knight Rider, Canadian Knight Rider?
Oh, that would be way cooler than this.
Okay.
No, this was about a guy played by Winston Reckert, rest in peace, was an actor who sort of had this kind of, if we're looking at it, here we are.
Ooh.
There he is. And Neon Rider was a show about this guy who had a ranch, and he would come down to the city and pick up teens stay with me. I know. He would get kids that
Interesting.
are
youth, no parents.
That's
or
right.
At-risk youth, no one would
At-risk
miss
youth,
them.
Precisely. Exactly. But he would go the other way.
Wow.
Because what he would do is he would bring them up to the ranch. The social workers would be like, here's this kid. He's got this problem or whatever. And he'd take them up to the ranch and, make them fucking bale hay and do all these things. And they'd have little sessions and talk and this and that. And then the kids would get it.
Right.
And by the end, they hug their parents. And
And like a Scared Straight program.
Yeah. like a nice Canadian where you ride horses and then you're good.
Fully written by a child molester.
Oh, hell yeah.
Trying to put that idea out in the public.
Just get around.
To put the idea in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Hey, if a guy's taking 14-year-olds with a drug addict mom up to the ranch, he's doing good.
He just wants them to raise a barn and learn about themselves.
He wants them to learn about the value of a hard day's work. That's it. He's not trying to suck them off.
No.
Definitely not.
Well,
No, that's crazy.
And like a lot of shows in Canada probably got some government funding because it's about something good. It's like, hey, we should be doing this in real life too. Let me take these kids up to the ranch.
Children.
Yeah,
Were you an at-risk teen then?
I was like one of the kids. I was
That's awesome.
I was a kleptomaniac.
Hell yeah,
and
dude.
That was my thing.
That's awesome, dude. I guess I just assumed because you're a great comedic. I mean, obviously you're a good actor, but it's interesting that you approach it straight from just acting because you're so funny. I mean, truly so funny and so I would have assumed improv because you're quick and you're so good at like character work, but I guess that's just by being a good actor who is funny, you can just do that. It's kind of like almost like old, like it is kind of, like Candy or that's all. It's cool to, that's awesome. You were just like, did you want to be dramatic or no, you wanted to do comedy stuff?
I wanted to do both. Like I really I love comedy and I kind of, I always wanted to be on Saturday Night Live when I was a kid, that whole thing. Yeah. You?
I honestly want to do stand-up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
I was, the first thing was just because you don't know stand-ups exist when you're little.
Yeah.
It was the same stuff, the same fat guys. We watched the same fat guys. We're like, I want to be John Candy. I want to be Chris Farley. But then when I saw stand-up, something did click.
That's great.
Where I was like, wait, and I still feel that now where I've been lucky to do a little acting this year.
Congrats on your movie, by the way.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yeah,
Appreciate
man,
it.
That's awesome. It was really cool to see.
Thank you, man.
Because you are, and look, I have a great respect for stand-up. And I maybe I don't know, maybe we have similar philosophies about it or views. I do feel like, because people go, oh, you're funny, you stand up. And it's like, no, these are different passions.
Definitely.
Forget about completely different arts.
Yes.
But these are also different passions. And I watch what comedians do and the time you put in to get a joke. It doesn't matter how Well, it's like, it doesn't matter how great you are at stand-up, and you are great at stand-up. Cheers. Come on.
Come on.
No, hey, you.
Stop.
Yeah, you know. But no, it's incredible to see the discipline of it. Going and working around the country.
Yeah, I mean, it's bullshit. Stand-up is bullshit. Like, let me stop you right there. It's pretty easy. That's what I've learned. Acting is like, I used to think acting was bullshit, and it's like, and it sort of is, but like,
it could be tricky.
I think it's like, here's what I will say. I think you could be 80%. You get to 80%. You could be not bad at acting pretty easy. To be good at it's very hard, I think. To get like the above percentile, stand up is the fucking easiest. Like, it's hard to get good at it. Once you're there, you're on autopilot, brother.
You are because you're fucking funny. I appreciate that. I feel like, and this is going to be very blunt. I feel like your art form has been under siege for years. Whenever stand-up gets hot, everyone's like, me too.
Absolutely.
Because all you need is a microphone. Fully. It's like, even there's some barrier to cross with acting or with, with even being in a band or fucking playing sports and shit. But it's like, I feel like everyone thinks they can, not everyone, but people, a lot of sociopaths, more of them, can be getting a stand-up, whereas in acting or some of these other pursuits that are creative, it's a little harder. The barrier of entry is there, and I think that that makes it even more special when someone is like, oh no, this is a great stand-up. I'm not just laughing because this is a fucking funny person. But what I mean by you going around everywhere and doing the stuff, it's like, I'll listen to stand-ups talk about, oh, that joke doesn't work. Forget about like this club or that club or whatever, but like regionally, you understand, which I'm fascinated by. Like, oh, don't try that there.
Well, I am interested in, actually, for this tour, I really want to be more like this next special, because the last special I felt like I did kind of quick because I just wanted to get a Netflix special. Everything I'd done had been on the internet, but this tour is going to go everywhere, and I even am trying to figure out international stuff because I really want to put the material through its paces. Like, it's cool to put it everywhere and see exactly what you're talking about of like, how does it do here? How does it do there? And try and make it as airtight as I can. And I think it's fun. Like, to me, it is fun as much as I don't respect it artistically. I love doing it. I just love doing it. I think it's a good time. And it is honestly like an easier, like logistical life once you get used to the travel, which I guess is very hard to get used to now that I'm saying it out loud. But,
that's a lot to travel.
But anyway, who cares?
Look,
fuck stand up.
But you're no, I hear look.
But you're right about the under siege thing, because it's, even when it's not hot, it's the problem with the art form is like, anyone who can get people in a room can say they're a stand-up, and it's not even when it's hot. It's like, may he rest in peace. Dustin Diamond is the perfect example of like, it would be like, what's this guy just is doing this because he's broke and it was not good. You know what I mean? Like, and now it's like, if you can get people in a room, like, I almost feel like stand-up is, I just do it because I love it, but you have to kind of pop from other shit. Because no one really cares about stand-up. They won't see you because you're stand-up. You have to kind of like, do podcasts, do clips.
Well, you guys now, watching The Hustle, I mean, it's incredible. That
it has become too much of a job, unfortunately.
Well, I look at podcasting as there's so many positives and negatives, and I love it. But it's like, it is kind of like, I do kind of feel like, man, well, I'm having a great time. Here we are doing one.
Yeah.
But it's like, it in my opinion, it does suck a little bit that stand-ups have to do that in order to get
right.
And the people, because audiences out there, it's just we're all conditioned now to, that's where we find funny people is on podcasts.
And some people will even be like, he's funnier on podcasts, and it's like, yeah, maybe you prefer it, but it's like
different.
It's just a completely different thing. But
totally.
It is, it is funny, but who would have thought that this is how shit went? But who cares? Let's get back to, I wanted to ask you, since we're talking about acting, I want to ask you about a specific performance you gave. Okay. And this is my buddy Nick Mullen we watched this together, and he was fascinated. We were both fascinated by it. But I want to talk about. Do you remember the Law and Order episode you did?
Oh, jeez. You guys watched that?
We love that.
Oh,
dude.
no.
No. I wanted to ask you about it because it was fucking awesome. You were like, what were you trying to do? Like, and I'm not like. It felt like you were having a lot of fun on that Law and Order, and you were like, I am going to play this like you were over the top in an awesome way. You're like, well, I'm going to be a Mad TV character in Law and Order because it was like, didn't you like fuck your daughter or something? Or what
no,
was that?
my daughter had been abused by her music teacher.
Right.
My daughter was, a teenager and is being, fucking having a thing with her music teacher.
Yes.
And then, spoiler alert, at the end of the episode, you find out that my wife had always, that's not my daughter.
Wow.
It's his daughter.
Right. I remember somebody was fucking his own daughter.
Right. So
and you were the victim.
Right. So at the end of it,
Yeah.
he's completely, and I just remember I'm like trying to get at him in the precinct,
Yes.
and like you got Mariska Hargitay and Ice-T holding you back. And you know what I'm saying?
You were playing it. It was awesome because it was like you gave Law and Order the subtlety it deserved. You know what I mean? When it was like you were clearly having an awesome time. I hope I'm not disrespecting you I hope you understand that I enjoyed it and I thought it was hilarious.
I appreciate it.
Because it felt like you were doing it on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, because you are a good actor who, like they weren't, it's like a ridiculous thing. And it was funny to see someone be like, I'm going to match this writing. Instead of pretending I'm doing Shakespeare that a lot of people do, you're like, sure. I am going to be going, you're like biting your fucking fist.
Oh, I'm crying in the courthouse, in the court, like, but those are, I'm crying.
You really were, I know.
So, look, here's the thing. It's funny.
I guess I'm just asking about your philosophy going into that because I would, I loved that.
Sometimes I feel like my career has two lanes because I like doing extremely, goofy, absurdist sort of shit.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, I really love acting.
Yeah.
And I love doing dramatic stuff. Anytime I get to do it, like, I've done movies where it's like totally, and series where it's like completely serious, and I love it. And I love playing the heavy, and I love playing characters that are all far reaching, like a guy who's like just completely victimized and sad and finding that. And I really am an acting dork with that sort of stuff. It's cool. But there are, to what you're saying, and that's very funny to hear that you and your pal Nick Mullen
we love
sitting
that
there
episode.
watching that, smoked out. Like,
I think we did a whole episode of Cometown about it. I think we were just hanging out and we watched it and we were like, I don't know where it is. Either we did or we talked about it between episodes, but I remember very vividly just how awesome that episode was.
It's like, there are times where I'm like, and this is to what you're saying, there are times where I'm like doing something extremely serious and I'll be like, there are people watching this going, I can't, that's not. And I know that, but there are other people who don't know the other side of things. Totally. And they go like, yeah, that's what would happen, I guess.
Right.
And their partner might be like, that's the fucking guy from the stupid, or what, Mad TV. You did Fred Durst. And now, like, how are you taking this serious? So there's always a thing where I'm sort of checking in with myself, but I cannot, that will never, and this is even more embarrassing than the reason I haven't watched Sopranos. Mm-hmm. I will never, I can never sacrifice a character for a personal reason like that. Like, I'm doing it sort of wink, wink on the
okay.
No, I do approach
it too much.
I approach every single, because what I really dig about acting is playing. I really love the fantasy of it and playing completely different people.
Yes.
And as a kid, that's why I dug Saturday Night Live and stuff. It was like, these are the most fortunate performers in the world because they get to play 5, 6, 7 different people in one episode.
That's awesome.
So I really do sink into it's funny. I do. I feel like I have two things, But
I still think it's as a performance, because what it reminded me of is like how Sandler in Punch Drunk Love, it was like, this is if Billy Madison was a real guy. It almost was.
Yeah.
This is if a Will Sasso like Mad TV character was a real guy who got ultra cucked and his daughter got all in one. This is how that guy would react, and it was fascinating from that perspective. I just loved it. I just wanted to.
I appreciate it, and I'm happy that you enjoyed it in any way that you did. Believe me, I'm not like because that
good.
Look, it's sort of like those Simpsons memes you see where it's like when they do the 3D art of like this is what they would look like as a real person.
Yeah.
You don't want to see it.
You don't want to think about your own. You don't want to hear it dissected to your face this way. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying like the Adam Sandler thing of like, he's a fantastic fucking actor.
Yes.
Like Adam Sandler is Adam Sandler. When you think of that and you're like, oh, he's fucking hilarious and an incredible canon of movies and some of the funniest shit you've ever fucking seen. And now it's great that he's, performing live again and doing all that shit.
Yeah, special was great.
Yeah. And it's like, but at the same time, I love watching him as a fucking actor.
Love it.
And watching, and to me, it comes back to like the John Candy thing of like, one of the reasons he's my hero is like, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is my favorite movie.
So fucking good.
It's incredible.
So good.
And as a kid, you're watching it as a broad studio comedy. And, you're watching, and it's like, those aren't pillows, and the car's on fire, and all that shit. But when you get a little older and you realize, oh, this is a movie about loneliness.
Totally.
This is about a very lonely man. If that movie came out anywhere in the last, I would say 15 years, he wins an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor or Best Actor.
I think you're probably right, yeah.
100%.
That is an incredible performance, and you're right. It is like, I mean, those movies really were, they really had lightning in a bottle when it's like, John Hughes, John Candy, Steve Martin. I mean, what they put together, and then when you hear about that movie, and it was like, the thing I love, tight, 90-minute movie.
Yeah.
But it was, the first cut's like 3 hours.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
And it's like the editing of that is like that makes you understand like how much goes into it. Cause like that performance was always there, and they found like such a stirring performance that was also so fucking hilarious. But yeah, that guy, you watch it now, and we watched it like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
He really was like, it's a sad guy that and you know that guy who's just overly friendly. Yeah. And it's just great.
It's a beautiful type. And it's like, that for me was like, I think there were things that I watched as a kid. That movie came out when I was 12, and I just remember loving it immediately. And also there's my hero, John Candy, doing this movie. Every movie that he was in, it was like, had to see it, and I loved it. The thing about that, though, and it's the magic of John Hughes and John Candy together, and then Steve Martin is just playing it straight.
Great straight man, yeah.
No, you said you were going home. What are you doing here? Like just not afraid to play it straight. Has a couple of like goofy moments, couple tiny ones, where he sort of sounds like Steve Martin. Mm-hmm. You stole it. Yeah. He stole it. But the rest of it is
totally.
But it's still hilarious because they're playing it real. They're playing the situations real. I really got off on that as a kid and was like, that to me that's what I love. That's illusion awesome. Of creating character that by the end of 90 minutes, you're like, I know this guy. And even as a kid, the real incredible thing is it could capture the imagination of a little kid. Yeah. And then now, like, as a grown ass man, I'm watching it going, I'll still pick up tiny things. Like,
absolutely.
My favorite part of the movie is, and these are the things that you just go like, did he know that he was doing that?
Right.
Or is it just so inherent to
innate?
Or is he just so deep in the character that it is what it is, and it's just magic? Because there's one part where they're in that hotel with the two single beds, and they're drinking the little airplane vodkas.
Yes.
Is this a good combination? No. They're like the Doritos and the tequila. And stuff.
Yeah.
Get these off the bed, or I'm going to kick them off. And then they start talking about, I'm afraid to look at my ass. I got those griddle marks on my ass. And they're laughing. And Candy goes into the bathroom, and they're laughing and they're giggling back and forth, and they're drunk. And Steve Martin goes, why do I feel like I'm in summer camp? And Candy's laughing in the bathroom, and he goes, and he opens the door a crack and just goes, and closes it. And I'm like, as a kid, whatever. As an adult, I watch and I go like, he needs to share the same oxygen as that guy.
Yeah.
He needs to be in the room with him. He is so fucking lonely.
Yeah, he wanted to share that laugh. He couldn't just like, he wanted to be present in the moment for that exchange.
Yeah.
He couldn't just enjoy it. He needed to like be a part, an active part of it.
Yeah. And it's like, anyway, that's the kind of shit that.
I love it, dude.
Yeah,
no,
man.
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I never thought about it artistically. I literally just wanted to be a buffoon. I just literally wanted
same here.
Yeah, I literally just wanted to do stand up and get pussy, to be completely honest with you.
You
I was
should
like,
go-
what's the closest way for me to get sucked off?
Yeah, but you got to do some Law and Order. So
Yeah,
you can get,
dude, I'm
really
going
play
to.
some. I would love it if anyone's listening.
Yes.
If anyone's listening, please.
I want to play that
cast
character.
Stavvy as a. Well, you should be like my kid brother, who's like fucking does gets in the same shit.
No, they should do that character as, it should be like fat comedian Hamlet, where it's like we all play that role. It becomes like, you know what I mean? We all play that guy. That it's like, I literally want to do a stage production of that script of Law and Order.
That is so
play
fucking
your
funny.
role.
Everyone has to. Fat Hamlet. Everyone has to do the fucking role. That's so fucking good.
We should look into that. We should look into doing a stage production of it.
Fortunate to have. I mean, even though now he's so, what he's done is incredible, but your pal Ethan Suplee,
he's the man,
just the man. Like, and what he's done is, I love Ethan.
Yeah.
I'm so in awe of what he's done. But yeah, Ethan's got to go. We could be so fortunate to have a wonderful actor like Paul Walter Hauser.
Yes,
everyone go through Josh Gad.
Yes.
Maybe Joshy will do it.
We'll figure
and just
it out.
play that one because. We'd all have a fucking take on it.
Everyone would have a different
and
take.
be like, Paul Walter Hauser's a killer.
Yeah.
Have you seen Stavvy's fucking? Go see him at the Pasadena Playhouse. It's fucking out of control. You know, like everyone's gonna have a take on it.
Yes.
That's fucking great.
That's Shakespeare. That's gonna be. We'll do that. But look, for the time, we gotta guide some people.
Hey, about steak and Shakespeare. Hey, all right, everybody. Hey, we're having a good time on the podcast. So that's
now
how we
you're
know.
warmed up, brother.
Yeah,
now
we're warmed up.
Now you're ready to give some fucking advice. All right, Elvis. Now let's turn the mics on. Now that we got the intro riffs going.
You know, spring is almost here, gentlemen. And I bet you're tired of keeping your thighs covered up. I know I am. Lucky for you, we got just the brand for you, Chubbies. You know, I discovered Chubbies in college. I've been wearing Chubbies legitimately before podcasting was even a twinkle in my eye. Before I even knew what podcasting was, I was wearing Chubbies because I'm a plus size man that likes to show off my thighs, and there's not a lot of clothing companies out there that have a cut that makes you look good, makes you feel confident, and has some fun, colorful prints. I first discovered them with their swim trunks. I remember vividly. You know, I was about to go spring break, peacock a little bit. I got some bright 5-inch inseams, and to this day, you can get 5.5, 7-inch, 4-inch if you really want to strut your stuff. I'm such a fan of I've been a Chubbies classic line swim trunk guy since I was 20 years old or 22, something around there. It's been a while. I love their stuff. And since then, they've also expanded to their comfort stretch shorts, which I wear also. The performance polos. It's not just swim trunks. It's not just shorts. They can get your titties looking right too. Whatever you want. Look, it's truly a brand that I've loved for over a decade now. We're pumped whenever Chubbies wants to advertise with us because it's the kind of, listen, I know who our viewers are, who our listeners are. You're fat guys that like to show a little personality. There's a big portion. And listen, you don't got to be fat to wear Chubbies, even though, you know, they know what they're doing with that name. But I got a sneaking suspicion a nice portion of our listeners love Chubbies, and the few women that do listen probably have a fat boyfriend. So whether you're getting dressed for your workday, a workout, or a weekend getaway, Chubby's has you covered. For a limited time, Chubby's is giving our viewers 20% off your order with our code STAVVY, STAVVY, at chubbyshorts.com. That's code STAVVY at chubbyshorts.com. Support our show and tell them we sent you. Don't blend in with the crowd. Stand out with Chubby's. Once again, that's code STAVVY. You're going to love what Chubby's has for you. I guarantee it.
We need you to guide some of our lost souls that have called in here, Will. So play us a couple calls here, Eldis.
Hey, Stavvy. Hey, Eldis. I know you guys won't be getting to this call for probably a month or two after I ask it, so I won't worry about that other than to say I am still a fan of both of you. You're both fantastic, and hello, beautiful guests as well. Stavvy, my question is related to, your background having immigrant parents. My girlfriend's parents are both like first generation off the boat immigrants. Her dad barely speaks English. In fact, it sounds a lot like your dad. And, the difference being that her parents are still together. So their marriage sounds a lot like what your parents dealt with as well. I love this girl very much. We've been together for probably at this point just about 3 years. And I really want to ask her to marry me. I want to also kind of like ask/let her parents know that that's something I want to do. Her mom and I have a great relationship, and her dad kind of sees me as like a pleasant little foreigner that his daughter brings around. And, he knows we're together and all that, but we don't interact very much. And I guess what I'm asking is there any way that I would go about connecting with these people beyond just kind of like the typical saying in English, I love your daughter very much. I'm willing to try, learning Polish for that. I've tried learning a bit of it, but kurwa, is it hard? So, yeah, any advice would be super appreciated. Love the pod. Have been a huge fan forever, and come back to Toronto and hope to see you soon. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Eldis, you're a legend. Don't listen to him. Albania, I'm sure, is, only a 2 out of 10, not a 0 out of 10. All right. Thanks, guys.
Wow. Okay. Well, hey, the Dreamboat Tour coming to Toronto. We're going to be there in April, I think, Eldis. Is that right? April or May, some shit like that. Interesting. Okay. So we got a guy who's trying to impress a potential Balkan father-in-law.
Yeah.
Ask for a hand in. Basically, he wants advice on how to connect, and he wants advice on essentially like asking for the daughter's hand in marriage, I suppose. So connecting with immigrant in-laws is very interesting because I've never, obviously we're all on the opposite side of that.
Yeah.
And for me, any woman I dated, my parents automatically, I feel like my mom liked them more. Just because they wanted me to have a girlfriend. They were like, This is great. Just get married, have grandchildren, get me grandchildren. My mom's pretty easy to win over, and my dad was never like, this is I guess dad and daughter stuff is different than like son stuff, but
I would say food. I would say try to learn. Look, everyone nowadays is cooking these TikTok, cooking TikToks. And since the pandemic, everyone's cooking everything. I would really, in my opinion, I would bring something over. And they're in Toronto, which is, it's a foodie kind of place. I'm sure they're, I have friends that are Polish. They're super into their sausages and all that. Fucking stuff.
Yeah. They're fucking, what are their little
pierogies or
pierogies?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would, if there's and this might be a huge insult though, if you bring food, because you don't bring food, and you and I know this.
Imagine bringing your version of spaghetti, right? Or my mom, my mom a Greek thing. I think maybe
that's a bad idea.
Taking an interest in it, wanting to cook with them,
to learn.
I love your pierogies.
Yeah.
I want to cook. You know what I mean? Can we cook? Or like, but see, the thing is,
I can tell by the sound of this guy's voice that he'd fuck up pierogies. So forget that.
But he also, the mom is not a problem here, right?
Right.
This is stuff that's the mom is gonna love.
Right.
How do you win a tough immigrant dad over when you're the guy? Because like for me, it's like any woman I'm with, I'm like, don't worry about my fucking dad.
Yeah,
You're fine. Who gives a fuck? But if it's flipped, that is harder. You know what I mean?
It doesn't sound like he's too adverse to this guy being around. He said he's the amusing
pleasant
little foreigner. Pleasant foreigner.
Yeah.
What fucking, I don't know. Sometimes
this might just be universal, like how do you get a father-in-law to like you? It might not be immigrant stuff at all. So you're both married men. Have you dealt with any? What did you do with your wife? And did you ask for a hand? Were you the same age as her father?
No, exactly.
Yeah, you guys went to high school together.
Yeah.
So it was an easy conversation.
No, my wife's been in LA for a long time and
Gotcha.
stuff, and we were kind of like, we're doing,
Not traditionalists.
We're doing our fucking thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, that would not be a situation where I would. Let's just say, give a fuck. That's maybe unfair. But I know what you're saying. Particular situation, her grandmother, who was who we just lost a couple of years ago, was she was so sweet, and that was someone that I really, was like talk to about.
You had to talk about. That's good.
That I love your granddaughter so much, and she's going to be in very good hands. And there's a thing there. There was a thing there, which was very nice. Cause I do believe that you need the family's blessing. I agree. My wife had my parents' blessing like crazy. They loved her. Mm-hmm. So that was really wonderful to have. And it is very important. Mm-hmm. But I think so long as you do you, young man, and just ask the fucking guy. Worst case scenario, he says no. And you do it anyway.
And that's the thing. Here's the issue. He smells your weakness.
Yeah.
He smells how scared you are of him. And the thing he will respect the most is just being like sitting him down in a way that I'm going to guess you never have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you've always been a soft boy that's hung around the kitchen with the mom and had coffee with her. Right. You've never like gone and had beers in the garage with her Polish dad or whatever. And you just have to do. I mean, that's one of these kind of hard things in life that you just do it, man. And
I didn't know what a husband and father who'd been, again, cucked by the music teacher, who's also come to find out the father of his daughter. I have no frame of reference there. But you dive in. You trust the writing.
That's right.
The show's been on the air for 23 fucking years for a reason.
Yes.
So you are the guy. You walk in there, you are the guy, get him in the backyard, pull your slacks up, get some sun, unbutton your shirt a little bit, and pretend you're the, you are the John Wayne of getting cucked by the music teacher.
There's something to that too, because like immigrant dads they didn't come up in societies where like it was okay to express your emotions as a man.
True.
But
Right.
I feel like even saying I want to marry your daughter and just like sitting them down, telling them outright, I bet that will open up a wellspring of old world.
Absolutely.
My daughter's getting married pride.
Yeah.
And you will see like something click in him a little where, you'll just see a little expression in his face.
And it's a sign of these guys love being respected.
Yeah.
Old world dads love when
dads,
someone bows down and respects them. And he's going to love that you're ceremonially asking for his daughter's hand in marriage. You know what I mean? And
go for it. Throw that Hail Mary of that. Put yourself in his shoes and go, I see it the same way you with your wife, my hopefully lovely mother-in-law, you guys made a relationship out of this. And I really admire that. So that when he says no, it'll be, you will have known that you threw everything out there.
Yes. Yeah, you'll be fine. I think you're probably fine. I mean,
you'll fucking
he's also Polish.
Also, bring a bottle of liquor. All those old fucking immigrant dads love getting boozed up.
Yeah.
So.
Prime the pump with like a nice gift.
Yeah.
A little bit, but it's the holidays. I mean, it's not anymore. It's January.
Yeah.
But, hopefully you already got him a nice gift. Like,
Do it for next Christmas. Right now, what you want to do, fill your bathtub with potatoes and grain and start fermenting that homemade Polish fucking rot gut and bring that to him.
He'll love
in
that.
a green bottle. He'll go like, whoa, this fucking kid makes his own piss.
Yes. You know? My own potato moonshine.
Yeah.
Good luck, little buddy. We're rooting for you.
Yeah.
Damn. Did you ask for a hand in marriage, Eldest? Did you sit down and have the formal ask?
I did not. I kind of had a conversation with her mom a couple years before that.
A couple of years? My man took his time. You really are a piece of shit. Her mom's just waiting like, So, any news? Just calling her every fucking month? No, not really.
But technically, no, I did
Well, he's
not
gotten
ask.
into podcast producing.
Holy shit. Oh my God, I'm not even in Los Angeles anymore. It's time to do something. It's time to keep it twisted. Holy shit. Oh, JP, you're not Will Sasso.
Whoa, we all love.
No, fucking idiot. That's for a different one. JP, you're not fucking Will Sasso. We kept it so twisted. Will Sasso became a different guy, and I was transported to New York City.
We all love Will Sasso, but I'm feeling too twisted.
Too motherfucking ass twisted.
Had to cut in.
Oh, man, it's time. Eldest, we're in the twisted zone. We're in the twisted zone. It's very similar to the cheek zone, except you get even more twisted here. We were transported because, it's February 10th, which is one day away from me. I've been sober for a whole year. In 2 days, I'll be sipping one of these delicious beverages. That's right. But for now, I have to satiate myself with
Keep it twisted.
keeping it motherfucking twisted with the twisted ass motherfucking question of the week. Birthday, one day before Stav's birthday edition, and it's Eldest's birthday edition.
Keep it twisted.
Eldest, what twisted motherfucking birthday question do you have for us?
We have someone going through a really fucked up twisted snenario.
Okay,
Let's jump right in.
Let's see what we got.
Hi, Stavvy. Longtime listener, religious listener,
Thank you.
or fucking Patreon subscriber.
Oh.
Sorry. I have a stupid question, but it has been bugging me. So I've been living with my dear friend and roommate for the past 3 years, and we're great match as roommates. We're buddies. Love them to death. I have noticed over the last 3 years of living with them, they've had the same shampoo, conditioner, and body wash bottles in the shower the whole time.
Very twisted.
And I'm like, and it's funny because the bottles are, they're transparent, so I can see that the soap
transparent
level in all the bottles has not really moved much since we've lived together. And it's like, this person is very clean. They shower every day. They smell good. They're not. At this point, all I can think is are they using my shampoo, conditioner, and body wash? I don't know. And if they are, do I say something? It's not like I'm flying through my soap, but I'm kind of I don't know. It's just weird. I'm like, what's going on here?
Sure.
So, anyways, you probably won't answer this one. This is kind of a silly one, but thank you.
Not only will we answer it, well, first of all, let me just say, your roommate is suspected of keeping
it twisted.
Of keeping it much too twisted. Okay, now look, that's misdemeanor. We are in a misdemeanor twisted court right now.
Felonies only.
It's not
in the twisted
It's not
zone.
felony keeping it twisted. It's not fucking your ex's grandma
It's
or
a
whatever. But this is a level, and I'm just
Because
wondering.
showering, by definition, is not twisted. But if
true.
you're committing a minor crime in the act of showering,
while showering, that is keeping it very twisted.
cancels it out.
And yeah, you're doing a clean that showering and bathing. It's almost like this, almost this symbolic. You're cleansing yourself, and it's a baptism of sorts every time you shower, and to just say, not only am I not going to accept this ritual cleansing, I'm going to steal during it. That's why people who beat off in the shower is weird. It's like, come on, jacking off into the shower.
If you sin during your baptism, you go to purgatory forever.
Oh, that's actually not bad. That's a good loophole.
Yeah,
because that way
hell.
you don't have to go to hell.
Sin as much as you want in life.
I wish I had known that.
I was beating off during my own baptism as a baby.
Twisted.
That would be keeping it twisted.
Yeah.
As a baby, the priest looked at JP and he was like, "Whoa, that young man, you know what he's doing?
What you gonna do about it, Father?"
Keep it twisted.
So okay, birthday edition. We used to be roommates. I had a bottle of Pert Plus for years. Are you calling me out here, Eldis?
I was about to say, I think we could definitely accuse you of keeping it twisted. I feel like I usually had nicer shampoo than you.
Interesting.
I see what's going on here. On your birthday, you decided to kind of get a question that's not that twisted to accuse me of a fucking crime.
Eldis hired a Fiverr worker and emailed them the script and said, "Bring this up on the podcast."
And by the way, my roommate not only is using my shampoo, but I suspect him of taking 2 to 3 spoonfuls of my Ben and Jerry's cookie dough ice cream and smoking a little bit of my weed.
And he cooked a meal and used 7 pots, and they've been in the sink for 5 days. I kind of assume he'll have them cleaned up every day I come home from work, but
he doesn't have a job.
I think he bought a fleshlight on my Amazon Prime.
Every time I come home from work, he's on the couch, and I could just tell he's been here most of the day, but he still hasn't cleaned the pots and pans from when he wanted to make zucchini fritters.
If I could have rigged up some cameras in this palace that you guys were living in.
Oh man, that is so a shame, compelling. Dude. That would have been a great documentary. It's like just sealed footage of us, like before, like even like we're talking. This is like right when Come Town is starting. This is so long ago.
But I think I've kept it twisted in the way the caller's describing with.
It was a two-way twisted street when we were roommates. So whatever. But that's very interesting.
So my instinct to this question is mind your business.
Okay.
Okay.
Because we do respect the twisted. That's the problem with when your call gets selected for the twisted ass motherfucking question of the week, we tend to side with the twisted individual. Yeah. And your roommate is keeping it twisted here.
Keeping it delightfully twisted. I also had a really annoying roommate one time who was a piece of shit. He was like a medical student. And he was just a completely pampered mama's boy. And he had Kiehl's body wash in the shower. And I had whatever fucked up thing I was buying from the bodega. Sure. Okay, I was stealing some of the Kiehl's body wash, but microscopic amounts. And he sent us, me and my other roommate, my good friend, this long ass text, like a very fucking annoying text to get. Like, someone's been using my body wash and it's very expensive. And it's like, okay, fine. But also, how do you know that?
Yeah, well, you marked it?
There were no visible marks. So it was like, are you taking a picture of this shit every time you use it?
He might have been.
The humiliating behavior.
Yeah, and I could see, like, there's a way to steal a little shampoo here and there, and that's okay. That you charge that to the game.
Yep.
I will say, actually, this person is I changed my mind. I'm not on their team because this is behavior that you sort of expect a little bit here and there. They're keeping it twisted is one thing, but you can't be sloppy when you keep it twisted. Your shampoo bottles cannot be clear if you're stealing somebody's shampoo. Like there is still, I think I threw away the bottle of shampoo. First of all, when I grew my hair out during the pandemic, remember, you were gone by then when I was growing my hair out. But I remember my roommate, our friend, our good friend, the elusive and mysterious Big P, that when he came home and he saw there was shampoo, that I put shampoo in our shared shower, he started laughing his dick off because I was like bald. I'd been bald since we were 22, and then at 34 or whatever, 33, whatever, he was like, I grew my hair out in the pandemic. But I had a bottle of green Pert Plus that you couldn't see through, laying there for 4 years, and that was beautiful. That's all the plausible deniability you need.
The telltale
if you're this guy, you get perk,
Yes.
you get a fucking thing of Irish Spring
Yes.
body wash. You put it there, or you put one fucked up bar. You know what I mean? Like
The bottle you had was like the old branding.
Yeah,
like you go to
they've changed
CVS
graphic
and it
designers.
looks completely different now. It's a vintage.
So we're saying it is weird. You can ask. You can be like, hey, or you know what you really do? You run out of soap. Because that would happen to me. I would stop stealing when they got too close to the end, you know? Then it got dire. Then I was just taking pure water showers, and that's brutal stuff. So
Just moving the sweat around.
because this is the twisted ass motherfucking question, usually you would say, ask them, they're your boy, it's a little weird, who cares? But since it's the twisted ass motherfucking question of the week, we say, get twisted back, or
Keep it
if
twisted.
you really wanna,
Keep it twisted.
you put some Nair in your fucking shampoo. If you really want to keep it twisted.
That's how you find out once and
That's
for
how
all.
you find out once and for all. You put a fucking decoy, but it doesn't sound like she even wants to do that. We're just giving you twisted options. So,
Take
run
your
out.
shampoo and conditioner, squeeze it into like plastic bags, and leave like the empty bottles in there.
Oh, true.
And see if and then you have your own stash.
Yeah, just have your own stash. You know, I don't know about this putting shit in bottles.
I haven't thought it all the way through, but I'm trying to move it to another place.
Holy fuck, that was twisted.
Well, maybe we shouldn't be advocating for,
The
bleep that
sponsored
out.
content.
Well, this isn't this is merely the twisted ass motherfucking. This is just the
true.
thing we like to do
It's
because
just
we
organically
we
emerging.
love Twisted Tea so much, JP.
These were the shoes I was wearing already.
I was wearing this hat. I was in this city when this episode started. So there you have it. That's how you're gonna keep it fucking twisted. And don't forget, if you want to keep it twisted, there's no better beverage to keep it twisted than a delicious twisted tea from our friends at Twisted Tea.
Keep it twisted.
All right. Well, what did you think of that, Will?
That's fucking great.
What else we got, little buddy? What else we got here?
Hey, Stavvy. I'm just calling in to the problem that I have is I'm still in love with the person that I'm supposed to be friends with. Short story, I am a widower, and it is my wife's cousin. So we kind of like trauma bonded together, then things accelerated into a intimate relationship.
You fucked her?
But she is poly.
That ain't the problem. It's not on her side, you fucking weirdo.
Because it's all new to me. I've only ever been monogamous. And
the poly thing is the problem.
To stay friends.
What the fuck? This is that Pauly Shore movie where he has to it's like the younger brother has to marry the widow. Do you remember that one?
No.
There's like a weird Pauly Shore movie, I think. Anyway, keep playing this call. So this guy, wow, okay. That threw me for a loop. I thought for sure he was like, I have feelings for this woman, but she's may she rest in peace.
This man has moved on.
He's moved on with his dead wife's cousin. Very interesting move. Okay, all right. I'm not judging here. It just kind of caught me off guard. Let's see what else he's got. Let's go back a little bit.
Decided to stay friends.
Can you go back a little bit?
I have been, I kind of had a little freak out about it because it's all new to me. I've only ever been monogamous. And so we decided to stay friends. And I have been experimenting with the poly lifestyle. And I am enjoying it, which is really annoying because now I'm realizing that I freaked out when I shouldn't have. But like we're back at being in a good place as friends. So I'm just wondering, should I just kind of like chalk it up as a loss and just continue being friends, or like shoot my shot again because I really fucking love this woman still.
Oh man, hold on.
Yeah,
So
that's about it.
the fact that it's his deceased wife's cousin is actually immaterial to this question.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter at all.
It has not come up since the beginning of the call. You're
It's
right.
just color.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was going to be the whole point of this, but this is. Okay, let's just take that out because I am finding it too funny otherwise and weird. And this just shows you how resilient a man is.
Yeah.
He deals with the most intense tragedy possible, but if there's a lady with big tits that'll suck him off at the funeral, he's moving on, and now he's getting into the poly lifestyle.
It really is like no judgment. I'm sure it's a complicated experience to go through with the cousin. But it's like, man, imagine being the wife listening to this voicemail from up in heaven.
Yeah.
She's like, what?
This is your problem?
Yeah.
Not even a little bit of, you didn't at the end say, and of course, obviously, there's a little guilt involved here. There's none of that.
You know,
no judgment, I suppose, but
I'm going to put myself in the shoes of any one of your close friends or definitely family
right
in the future that has to listen to the answer to, so how'd you guys get together? So, and I was sitting here going, So my advice would be to stop it. Get out. I think right away, even the part that he, like you said, cares very little about, that his deceased wife, his family, with even just the poly thing.
God,
but that at the top of it.
How is the poly thing his big problem?
But now he's into the poly thing.
Now he's into the poly thing by accident. Okay, let's actually give this guy some fucking. Let's stop laughing at him and give him some tough talking to. Okay,
where do you get these?
I mean, this one's awesome,
dude. When I see your calls, I'm just like, and I'm watching it going, and then you hit me up like, "Hey man, I'm in town. You do the podcast? You want to come out?" Yeah, fuck yeah. And my first thought is like, oh, whenever I watch the show, I'm like, don't give advice to that. Like, you're a fucking actor, or comedian, or something. Nah, you can't help this person.
No,
but now I'm sitting here going, we gotta help this fucking guy.
Save this man, dude. Okay. I think it is very, very possible that you might not even really understand what's going on emotionally for yourself right now, right? Like, let's give him some credit and just even say he might be too fucking stupid to understand like how sad he is and how the ways grief is taking place. Because here's the thing. Let's start one by one. You trauma bonded. You both went, whatever. Grief is weird. Essentially, you, in a tumultuous emotional time in your life, hooked up with somebody that you both sought comfort from each other, right? See, and now you're trying to fuck her again. Why don't you just chalk that up to, hey, it was a fucking weird time. It was a fucking weird time. And maybe your freak out had a little bit to do with that. Maybe it wasn't the fact that you wanted to be in a monogamous relationship with your dead wife's cousin. It was the fact that maybe on some emotional level you were freaking out about it, right? So, hey, we'll give you the pass for fucking her, pal. Good, you're absolved. Done and done. And you know what? You want to do some weird poly shit while you're dealing with this? Great. But you can't fuck her again.
No.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
You're out of your fucking mind, dude. And we're only saying this because we're your friends. But like, did you see how gobsmacked your thing made me?
Yeah.
Do you understand how much weird shit we get on this fucking show? And how much this fucked me up? Please take that as an understanding of what's going on here.
Yeah.
Absolved, you fucked her once, who cares? You're into poly shit, great. And like, you both might not know what's going on here. You can't fuck. You move on. Fuck other women. Who gives a fuck?
The second time is going to be exponentially.
It's going to be so weird.
Way worse, and is going to come back to haunt you in ways that you can't even think of right now. I can't imagine them. you're in the situation, and you clearly don't know what they are because you're calling Stavvy to go, hey, help me sort this out. You have no idea what's coming for you.
No, dude. No,
Please,
you do not. Please
run the other way.
This is all. You know what? After the initial shock wore off, this is a pretty easy. You good?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
This is a pretty easy thing. You had a weird hookup in a weird time, and now you move on. And her saying like you're in a good place as friends, that's good. That's good. Stay friends.
She's not Polly. She's just saying that to get him off her ass.
Yeah.
Oh, I like all sorts of people. He's like, me too.
Yeah, totally.
That didn't work.
Yeah. So you're good, man. Keep it moving.
Yeah, keep it moving.
Fuck a bunch of, like, you're sad still. You don't even understand it. And just keep it moving, brother.
Keep it moving.
Wild stuff, man. I mean, whew.
That was something. Oh, man, that was really something.
We trauma bonded, and that's the last it came up. I mean, that's fucking nuts.
That's
dude.
Almost incestuous. I mean, it's incestuous. It's
there is some. I mean, it's
emotional, familial. I mean, they're not blood related, so
sure
you can't say. But that's keep it moving.
You got to keep it moving, and it probably was a pretty nice nut or two. That's the other thing. It's probably like fucked up shit. Just probably made his dick even harder on some level. That's he's trying to tap into that, but that is over. That's over. You're right. The sheen is gone. The first, they might have fucked a few times, but it's like, that will never come back, brother. Yeah. Please move. Okay, play a call.
Find other women whose cousins may have passed away and see if that gets you going.
Start going to funerals. Maybe you just want to fuck sad women, right?
There you go.
See if anybody in your past has died recently.
Yeah.
Go to a high school reunion. Anyway, keep going, Eldis.
Hi, Stavvy. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Right.
I was calling, and I love the show.
Thank you.
I was calling because I had, like, kind of a weird incident happen with my family, and I wanted to know how to support, I guess, my mom.
Okay.
So my mom got a WhatsApp message from my dad when he was in an Eastern European country by himself because he was going to go visit my brother in the UK. And it was of what she described as AI porn, but of him. And I felt weird because I was like, why would someone be sending AI porn of my dad to my mom? And what does that mean? So she seemed to like just be really, really stressed out and brushed it off as just a thing that didn't happen. But like still seems pretty sad about the incident. And, I don't know, like I guess I asked for like, well, what did the video look like? And it didn't have audio and it was like 10 seconds and, really, really, really still, like the phone was still, and I asked my boyfriend, like, oh, do you think it's AI or do you think something funny is happening? Another thing for context is my dad has a very, very, like, shitty phone. It basically is an Obama phone, but he just refuses to get anything better. So it can be hacked pretty easy, and he only uses WhatsApp, and I don't know why. So I feel like he's just more prone to getting hacked, but the incident just made me feel weird, and I don't know what it's about. So yeah, what would you do? What are your thoughts? It was just something really weird that happened, and it just seems like not like my dad to do that. It's also weird because it's like, I'm not going to ask my mom to see it, because I feel like if I were to see it, I would know it's AI right away. But that just puts me in a weird position. It's not like I can make like my friends or my boyfriend look at that either. But yeah, appreciate your thoughts. Sorry if the call was long. Okay. Love the show. Love you all. Bye.
So
send it to Stav.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
We honestly would love to check out the AI pornography of your father. So this woman is saying her mom received a WhatsApp message from her dad while he was away in Europe, and it was AI pornography, I assume of the dad holding his cock or some shit.
Yeah, she doesn't specify, but
maybe he's jacking off.
She does not mention another woman or partner.
No.
She does not, yeah.
But that seems like it would have been like, and her mom said she brushed it off. Did she ask her husband, hey, what the fuck is this? Like, what, like, I don't get that. I mean, that's fucking nuts.
I kind of feel like mom has the right strategy here.
Respect, yeah.
Definitely just brush that off and pretend it didn't happen. 100% bury that down. Also, this dude is just... Didn't she say he was visiting her brother in the UK?
Right, the brother.
Which last time I checked is not in Eastern Europe. So now he's just in Eastern Europe and there's some AI.
I'm assuming he was doing some sort of tour or stop or something. Yeah. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But
like, could he have gotten hacked? Could somebody have taken a picture from him and made AI pornography?
Well, they don't want money. They're not trying to blackmail him or anything.
Well, they used to do that, right? Where they would be like, they'd get you to jack off on cam and then they'd record it. And then they'd show you the video and be like, we're sending this to all your friends if you don't give us money. So is it possible that maybe it's not AI porn? Maybe dad was beating off on FaceTime with somebody in Slovakia.
Yes.
And they sent it to everybody. You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
That could be it.
No, I think you cracked it.
That might be.
This should be in a Law and Order.
Yeah, we should get it. And I would say you have a brother. You got to ask your brother in the UK to look at this pornography and tell you what it is.
Your brother can look at it.
Your brother can look at it. Your brother can definitely look at it.
It's different than being a girl looking at her dad's porn.
Yes.
I would, if my dad sent my mom some weird thing, I would, it would be my duty as the firstborn to look at potentially my dad's hard cock.
Yeah.
That would be something I'd have to do. Yeah. And I would be praying it's AI. Now, the other funny possibility here is your dad just learned about AI. You know how like a bunch of fucking ugly motherfuckers were doing the AI, what did I look like in high school thing and posting just a sexy version of them that never existed. Yeah. When it's, you know what I mean? Those like, do you remember that? Anyway, people were doing that a lot when AI first came out. Was like just a hot picture of them. Is it possible your dad is a horny man who loves your mother and just found out about AI? He put himself through a filter that makes his dick look harder and bigger and is trying to jerk off with your mom. Like, is it possible your dad took a weird shot at your mom when he's feeling horny off the fucking raki? He's had fucking bathtub moonshine from the, you know, the old world, and he's trying to get his wife to look at his hard cock, but it's not getting that hard, so he throws a filter on it. Is that possible?
Nope. It's the first one. Yeah, this isn't a Trump NFT. It's not him dressed up as a fucking astronaut or a cowboy. Yeah, it's just him with his dick out. It's just a guy with his dick out. That's what happened here. She sounds so sweet.
You're right.
She's
You're so right. You're
affected by it. Also, the fact that the mom
It's not AI at all. You're so right.
It's not AI. But that's also an old head thing to do, is to blame shit
technology.
On AI. It's AI.
My husband's not a weird pervert. It's AI.
Yeah, just everything is, and he just blame it all on AI. The fact that the mom has said nothing about this and just seems kind of sad means that you might be new to knowing that your mom's ignored a lot of shit about your dad, and it just makes her kind of sad.
Yeah, true.
So I agree with the not wanting to make it worse and stuff. A lot of shit will come out in the wash, and maybe just let it lie.
You're so fucking right about that. Who knows? Pops is on you're right, Pops on an Eastern European solo tour on his way to the UK. Last time I checked, there's plenty of direct flights to Heathrow. He doesn't really have to stop over in fucking Ukraine.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Oh yeah, I'm going to Montana. I got a layover in Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, I have to go. Yeah, there's a weird thing where you have to stop in Thailand for 48 hours on the way to the UK. But the tickets are so cheap. I just got to do it. And I would consult with your brother. This is what brothers are for.
Absolutely.
Pornography is his realm. Your dad's dick is his realm.
Totally.
He's got to handle this for you.
Yeah.
He's got to be the one to do this.
Yeah,
but
he's watched him piss in the woods over and over again.
Yes,
He'll be able to and he won't even have to look that long. He'll just be like, that's Dad's hammer. That's not That's not AI at all. He didn't enhance that. Same color.
I remember that freckle.
Yeah.
Yes, this is fascinating though, and please call in with a resolution if you have one. We're captivated by this. Damn, this is so sweet. Is it AI?
She sounded so
you
nice.
heard it in her voice. She's just like she doesn't even want to entertain that it could be real, and
but
just
it's
like,
so clearly real.
Yeah, that's what threw me the whole first part. I'm like, why is the word AI even in this? I don't even understand what the hell she's talking about.
Now, I mean, hack and AI are two of the most.
Yes, I got hacked.
And its AI is like we are going to hear that every time like a Republican senator gets caught getting his dick sucked by a 17-year-old boy. We are going to hear about how he got hacked and it's AI for eternity. We're going to hear that. All right, let's see what else we got. Some pretty good questions, Eldest. Good job producing so far.
Stavvy, hope you're doing well. You and your esteemed guest. I hope that your Albanian picked my question this time. I have a bit of a problem, man. So I've been working at this same job for a few years now. It's a nice little office job. I like it a lot. I have an intern who just actually ended their first semester with our office, and they're going to be potentially coming back. The thing is, man, I'm pretty sure that they're into me, and like, I don't want to fuck up my job. I know that they're like basically done working with me.
Come on, dude.
Wouldn't be that big of a deal. I don't know if I would get fired even if like it turned out that we were doing anything beforehand. We haven't done anything. The thing is, Stav, they are.
The fact that you're already thinking about legalities and trying to get the timing right, you know what you're doing is fucked up, man. The fact that you're trying to get the timeline straight for the prosecutor, that's already a very bad sign. We'll hear you out, but you're on very thin ice.
Done anything? The thing is, Stav, they are so hot. It's insane. And on top of that, I'm pretty sure that they're into me. Like, they always want to work with me on projects. They're always asking me if I want to do stuff with them as far as like work stuff. We've never hung out outside of work, but they're always trying to help me with stuff. And they, they're acting all flirty and things like that. I've been trying to keep things very professional, but I would do it. I gotta say, Stav, what do I do? I've been working here for about 3 years. And it's like a half a decade, some age gap. So no issues there, really, I guess. I don't know.
5 years older than that.
Stav, help me out, man. Would it be creepy? Would it seem weird? I don't want to really like reach out to them to be like, hey, you want to hang? Or something like that.
So
but at the same time, like, I don't know. Am I going to miss out on this opportunity? Love you, Stav. Please help me out. And if you could make this the twisted question of the week.
You know what, Elders? You fucked up.
Buddy.
This should have been the twisted question of the week. You fucking idiot. This is an insane, although I don't know if Twisted Tea would want to be associated with fucking a subordinate.
Yeah.
But it is twisted. It is very twisted. Okay. I mean, dude, you can't fuck someone at the all. I mean, what are the true moral implications here? Who really gives a fuck about fucking somebody at an office? Like, whatever. It happens all the time, but
always
it's like,
a terrible idea.
It's a bad idea.
It's how a lot of people do meet their partners
exactly.
at work.
I'm a little dubious of your reading of the situation too.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. Are you sure? Oh, the hot college student is really into you.
But did he mention, did I hear it right, that you were saying he's 5 years, he's
5 years older? That's not crazy, honestly.
And he sounds pretty young himself.
He sounds pretty young. If this person's 20, he's 25 or 21.
He sounds
26.
young if he's like making it this big of a deal and isn't just like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck this.
Yeah, a real scumbag would have. If they're 20, he would have been like, I could buy you booze. Why don't you just fucking come to my apartment?
Yeah.
And he would have fucking cornered them in a room.
He seems really hung up on the fact that it's the power dynamic. It's an intern.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you need to. This is the answer to every single one of these. Is leave it alone. This is easy.
I will say yes.
Leave it alone.
I will say you seem to
you
like your job.
You might see them later. You might see them later in life.
If they truly want to fuck you, right? If they really 100%, if you are right and there is some kind of something going on, let it go. Maybe you run into them. Maybe on their last day they say something like, "Oh, can I use you as a reference?" And you exchange contact. Like, let them show actual interest instead of you thinking, well, obviously the hottest person in this office wants to fuck me, right? You might be wrong. Let things, and then, look, if you guys happen to, if some connection is made when you are not, when they're not your subordinate and you don't want to jeopardize your job, fine. But like anything you do while they work there seems like you're on, I wouldn't make this move unless they were like, it was very, very apparent. And even then you probably shouldn't. But look, who am I to tell you you can't break a few rules to fuck somebody that's hot? I get that. I understand that.
You're the guy that has question and answers for an hour at the end of your fucking podcast. You're exactly the person. You're the only person he's going to ask, unfortunately. So you better nail it.
All right, I guess you're right. Don't do it.
Yeah. No, don't do it. And also he's like, I might want to stay at the job. I might not. Yeah. No, you want your job. You're just saying that. He wants his job.
He's horny.
Yeah.
This is
horny guy at work.
The reality here is this man is insanely pussy starved, and he's trying to. He knows it's a bad idea, and he's like, "Do I even?" That's how much he wants to fuck. He's like, "Do I even like my job?"
Yeah,
it's like he wants to fuck this person so bad. He's like, "I don't. Is this industry even for me?" So you're not thinking clearly.
Yeah.
You let it. You definitely don't make a move while they work there, and then you let it go. And if something organic happens afterwards, when they show interest, and it's not just you reading the tea leaves, then it's up to you, man. That's a personal decision. But don't fuck your job up because you need a nut.
Yeah.
Unless it was a really bad job. I never fucked in the office.
That's a really bad idea to get involved with anybody at work.
Yeah,
it's just you don't shit where you eat.
Did you ever have like a day job, office job, or was it just right to Neon Rider and you were off, brother?
Yeah, and that's definitely somewhere where you don't want to pick up. When you're on Neon Rider, the show about the teens, being a teen at that time myself, you don't want to get involved with any of the social workers. There's a couple of lovely women working on the show, actors.
All right. Well, yeah, I think we did good.
Yeah.
We stayed moral. Keep going, Eldis.
Hey, Stavvy. Called a few times. Huge fan of the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for all you do, and you and Eldis, of course. I'm just calling because I've been in a relationship for about 10 years now, and sometimes I struggle with the idea that we don't show love in the same way. He's very, affectionate and shows affection through words of affirmation and physical touch, while I'm more of like an acts of service kind of girl. And I feel like sometimes we butt heads on, if we're showing love and appreciation to each other in the right way. So I just wanted to see if you had any advice on kind of changing the mindset and making it to where the two people can kind of reach common ground in the way that you show love to each other. Again, love the pod. Thank you so much. This is way cheaper than therapy, so you're the realist for this.
That's right. And it's just as helpful.
Have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.
I mean, she solves the problem at the end of it by saying, "This is way cheaper than therapy." Go to therapy. Don't ask him or me. Like couples therapy.
Yeah, this is
active
kind of
service kind of girl. She says that made me sad.
This is a straight up couples therapy situation without question.
The
You're
great
so right.
thing about couples therapy is even though you guys have been together for 10 years, a good therapist will be able to listen to two of you in a session and be like, "I can't help you," which means break up. Yeah. if I can't help you, break up, because that's how easy this is. I don't even want another session.
Yeah.
Break up.
Well, they'll know.
I empathize with this woman. That sounds rough.
Well, so the idea basically is like her partner's, he's very touchy-feely, and she's more like, I'd like you to do the dishes or something. I don't know if that's what active service boils down to. I believe active service meant
that she looks at, and I may be wrong, because she used the term active service.
I think she's using, this is a type of language isn't it love language stuff?
Is it?
I think so.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of that.
There's like gift giving, physical touch, right? Look up love languages.
I thought she meant that her affection falls under the active service sort of thing.
No. I don't think that. I think she's basically means the way she likes to receive love is by him doing nice things for her, whereas he likes to just be cuddly and physical touch. I think it's different types of, Acts of services or love language means that someone feels most love when their partner actively does thoughtful things for them, like completing tasks, running errands, or performing small favors that make their lives easier. So, okay, look.
Who doesn't like that?
Right. I mean, that's the other thing. Look at all 5 love languages, and they're all like awesome things. Like none of them are. Click on all love languages there, Eldest. There's it's the 5 love languages to the right. God, you're fucking bad at producing. Okay, acts of service, gifts, give thoughtful gifts, physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation. All those are fucking awesome. So I guess, but okay, I get it. Whatever. She prefers. Is the problem that you really have different love languages, or would you be more affectionate to someone you loved more? Like maybe that's, maybe I don't want to assume that, but maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. Would he want to do shit for you? Like that's the thing. Even if he's not, like I'm fucking lazy. I don't like running errands for myself, but in relationships, it's something clicks for me and it feels good. I will way more go out of my way to go to a store and get something for somebody I'm dating, more so than if I would do it for myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if you necessarily have to break up, but if you had these conversations, it's like, hey, could you do this for me? I really appreciate this. And maybe it's a compromise thing of like, maybe you want to be a little more physically affectionate. Maybe he does a little more stuff that you like. But it's like, this is relationship stuff 101 in terms of compromise, right?
Also, 10 years in, and each of them are only doing one of the 5 love languages. What do you want from us? You know what I mean? Do more of those.
Do more of them.
You at least get to 3 out of 5. And then see if you have some overlap before you call Stavvy and be like, fix this for me. Yes. I've been in a relationship for 10 years.
For 10 years, and he won't pick up my dry cleaning when I ask. But yeah, I mean, I do hate to be like, but it's like, how do you reach common ground? You have the conversation, and not to be reductive, but if it's important enough to both of you, you'll just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like, unless there's little resentments that stop you, and that can definitely build up. And I hate to say it, but Will is right. This is cheaper than therapy, and that's the issue here. You literally need to go and talk through these issues because, I haven't. You guys are in long-term relationships. Does this seem,
Is it worth $150?
Yeah.
It's basically the calculation.
Well, I would say to her, is she subscribed to the Patreon?
Right.
Because if she's not, we give even better advice there.
The advice is so much better on the Patreon.
Yeah.
That's a great point, Eldest. But yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if she like feels smothered too. Because all this love language stuff is just like, I don't know. It's like, is he being too lovey-dovey and annoying? It's like, is that what you mean?
And not doing anything.
Right.
Because I mean, whatever, people in general, but women need someone to show up and I guess do these love language things. You know what I mean? Like, you got to do.
I agree.
When you in partnership, you have to you show up for the other person because you are thinking of them and you love them and you know them
and you want to make their life easier.
You want to make their life easier, and it becomes hopefully second nature. At least 10 years in.
It shouldn't be harder 10 years in.
Yeah,
it should be. You should understand each other's rhythms a little better.
Yeah.
And what this boils down to, if we take out the love language parlance, is like this guy wants to fuck and you want him to do chores. It's turned into a fucking Tim Allen routine from the 80s, which is like, my wife won't blow me unless I do the dishes.
Yeah.
It's like, I hate to fucking, again, let's cut through the love language stuff, but it's like acts of service versus physical affection. We can fucking read between the lines here. Is there a reason you don't want to be as affectionate? Is there a reason he doesn't want to do stuff for you? You got to get to the bottom of that. I don't know. That's as and of course, that's as much as I can give you. I'm also a bachelor. What can I say? It's been a while since I've never been in a 10-year relationship. The longest relationship I've been in has been like, a couple years. So I don't know what to tell you. But good luck out there. Go to therapy, maybe. Sorry. And, I don't want to tell you really think about your relationship and see if it makes sense, but...
I mean, it's better than that fucking polyamorous cousin bullshit. You got that going for you.
That is true. You're in a much better position than that guy.
Yeah. Not a freak show like that other guy.
That fucking guy, that grief-stricken son of a bitch who's the tragic loss of his wife fucking melted his brain and thinks he's got to get into vests and fucking multiple people in a night. Starts talking about fluid bonding. All right, LD, what else we got here? We're rolling. We got some great advice.
Yeah.
Hey, Elvis, sorry about that last voicemail. My phone died mid-voicemail. Anyways,
right,
I was hoping that you could hook me up and tell that filthy Greek that you worked for about my problem. So
You're not speaking to Elders directly.
And my problem is that
right?
I recently got off parole in California and moved up north to Oregon. And I haven't been with my family in some time. And they have brought in a ton of tiny dogs.
A ton?
And my problem is that my mom's dog comes on me. And they're a small breed, which, like Stav's dick, which is big for a dog, but that's not the point here. I would just, grab it by the scruff of the neck and throw it down, but it's so small, it just jumps on my chest and comes on me.
No.
And it's a dominant posture. And my mom thinks it's the funniest shit. And I'm just trying to go to school and live at the house and not be sexually assaulted every single day. Like, as soon as he comes out of my mom's room in the morning while I'm drinking my coffee, he charges downstairs, jumps onto my chest, and comes on me and kind of dares me to do anything about it because my mom will defend him and be like, oh, no, that's just my poor baby. But the thing is, my stuffed panda that I've had my whole fucking entire life, he raped when I was in prison. He jizzed on it so much they threw it away before I got out. Yeah, that's it. That's it. My mom's dog
every
comes
morning
on me,
this dog nuts on your chest?
every chance he gets, and I don't know what to do. Kill it? Maybe come on it? I'm not sure.
You shouldn't
Have
come
a
on
good
the
day,
dog.
guys. And exalted guest, take care.
Is this real?
Yeah.
Feels fake.
It feels fake. I wondered this when I screened this.
Okay.
Here are some.
Walk me through your thought process.
Here are some clues why I'm willing to entertain it.
Okay.
I have known small dogs that do get excitable. I don't know about coming, but I Googled it, and apparently that is a thing sometimes.
You got two small dogs. I've never even heard of this.
I have seen dogs that when you walk in the house, they like get excited and pee all over themselves.
Sure.
So I think it's like maybe a similar thing.
Okay, but
Here's another clue. What he's describing as his mom's reaction, like, oh, that's my baby, haha, they laugh it off. I can see that too.
I'll give you that.
I can see like a dog owner like just being like, oh, that's just cute. He's just a doggy. He doesn't know any better.
Sure, especially when she's poured all her love into the dog while you were in prison. She's like, well, this is my child now.
And then the last clue I would say is, he has a rough around the edges way of speaking. He's referring to this dog raping his stuffed animal in a way that, I believe this guy's on parole, whether or not this is real or not.
Okay, all right. I guess fine, Eldis. You've pleaded your case.
That's my apologia for letting this one slip through.
And you know what? I made fun of this guy for this is what a mark you are. This guy fucking just addressed you directly, and you were like, I'm going to advocate for him. I'm going to make it so that we do answer his question.
I'm happy for him that it seems like nothing this bad has happened. Nothing even approaching this bad has happened to him in prison.
Right.
So he's like, this is the most traumatic thing.
That's true. In terms of the jizz you're getting daily, it's much better to get Chihuahua cum on your dickies at your mom's house than a fucking arsonist's cum on your chin on the top bunk. So, all things considered, look at it that way.
Make it a fun game. See if you can just avoid the dog and get treats. Treats.
How about this? Maybe he's attracted to your scent. Go work out in a shirt, get it real musky, and then put it on a stuffed animal and see if he fucks that stuffed animal. If he raped your panda, which I'm sorry to hear about, can you get him a different stuffed animal for him to fuck?
Toss that into the house before you go in there and then enjoy your coffee.
That's true.
And watch it.
Are there Chihuahua pocket pussies? Is there something for a thing to fuck?
I think that's just what stuffed animals are.
Essentially all of those at PetSmart are just, they all have, why do they all have a little finger hole in them it's a puppet.
That's for snack pellets.
That's right. You hide the treat in there.
You could create, how about this? Let's get back to what you learned in prison, how they make those pussies out of sponges or whatever. Make him one of those, get a stuffed animal, cut out the ass, make him a tiny little dog prison pocket pussy out of gloves and sponges and dial soap. And that way, everybody's happy.
I mean, there's just no way. This is just your cross to bear. I'm sorry. There's no way around this. I'm thinking like I said, we got the two little cute dogs. It's like, they do this, they do that. One of our dogs is getting Ronnie's like 13 now. She's pissing inside a little bit. Never used to do that. It's just we deal with it. We love her through it.
Just what happens.
Cute. It's cute.
Yeah.
It pissed me off the first few times because she's very housebroken, and now all of a sudden she's she's old.
Yeah.
It's cute that she did that. So you got dogs coming on you.
Dogs coming on you. He's threatened. There's masculine energy in the house.
It's
putting you in your place.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, I think. Unfortunately, and I hate to say this, I think you're the problem. Because
commit another crime.
Yeah.
I know. Get back to jail, man.
Where everything's safe.
Sounds like a better living arrangement than living with your mom getting jizzed on every day by her pooch.
And there's no way to fucking fix this dog. Your mom won't hear of it.
Isn't there a way to? So wait a minute.
Neuter the dog.
Would they still be able to?
I don't think they nut if you neuter them.
Yeah,
it's not like a vasectomy.
It's apparently it's like mean to do to a dog. Like later on, it hurts more or whatever. But the dog's coming on you. Something's got to break.
Something's got to give.
Something's got to give. He seems very kind about it, even though it's heavy. He doesn't even sound too upset. I mean, I know he's upset.
Sure.
And he's, like you said, using some pretty rough language to describe what this cute little doggy is doing. But
so look, man, create a little dog for him to fuck out of out of your shirt and a stuffed animal. And you'll be fine, bro. Put it next to you. It's also like he's coming on your chest while you're drinking coffee.
Yeah, what are you doing? Why are you lying down?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to be alert. You just have to be on your shit when you go to your mom's.
I know you thought that was over for you, but it's not.
Yeah.
What do you got, Els? You got something nice for us to go out on here?
What's up, Toppers? Long-time listener, just calling in. Hearing all these people talk about their relationship problems, and thought I'd ask what your opinion is on someone who's 28 years old and has only ever been in a relationship with one woman, and it wasn't even dating. Like we met each other, and then within a week or two, we were pretty serious. We dated for a while, but after we broke up, she got married within 6 months of us breaking up. So I don't know. Long story short, I'm 28. And don't really know how to get into the dating scene. So I hear you talk to these other people and see if we could get a unique situation in here. Have a great day.
Interesting.
He sounds a little shy. That's okay.
Yeah. Sounds like a shy guy.
Just a shy guy.
Again, not really the kind of fun ones we like to go out on, Eldest. You maybe would have wanted to flip the order of these.
Yeah, there's
a
not...
Chihuahua nutting on a guy's chest, a lot funnier than this guy who just needs real, cogent advice.
Yeah.
For us to provide this poor man who's
There's
only...
no trauma bonding or doggy coming in this one. That's right.
28-1 relationship, that's not so bad, bro.
That's not a big deal.
It's really not a big deal at all. I mean, I've only been in like, I don't know, I guess like 3 or 4 real relationships and one like 2 very official relationships, whatever. Now, is that the only girl you fucked? That's a little
Sounds
different.
Like
maybe. Yeah.
I think he would have mentioned that. Whatever.
Yeah.
To me, it
right.
seems like that's why I say I believe this is just a person
who's shy guy. Yeah.
You're going at your own pace, and that's okay. You'll find it. You're still young.
Yeah.
You are. I mean, also, he seems very daunted by dating.
For sure.
And just get online, do the online dating. There's lots of people, and just take your practice talking.
Well, talk. That is what it is like, because again, me and Eldest were fucking losers for much of our lives. You could argue, some might argue we still are, despite the success. But I know this feeling of being like, maybe I wasn't 28, but I was like, 21, 22, like, and then even after that, when I'm like 23, I got out of my first relationship in college. But before that, I was like fucking scared. And I could like talk, and I could do everything until it got romantic, and then I got scared.
Yeah,
right?
I was like that when I was in my early 20s for sure. I was like I was just very I was very timid when it came to, and that might
be
interesting because it's like even talking about being like, hey, you're a kid, you're class clown,
totally,
blah blah blah. You don't have to be completely adept at everything just because your peers are, and it's okay to go at your own pace.
Exactly, and hopefully that makes you feel better because it's like both of us were probably like very outgoing, boisterous people that no one might have even assumed that was an issue. Like I remember friends of mine were like confused where I was like, because I was never shy until it was like a girl I liked.
Yeah.
And then I was like the shyest guy of all time.
Yeah.
And all that was being scared of rejection. That's really what it boils down to. And maybe you're in that situation too. Maybe that's why you hit it off with a girl and you were immediately like, great, I'm dating her because I found one woman that makes me feel comfortable.
That's well said.
And so just, brother, there's no secret here. There's, the general advice we give everybody, if you're feeling bad about yourself, just try and make some improvements, not even for, the shallow reasons, but because whatever you do when you feel like you're making progress, you feel more confident in general. So whatever that is, dressing better, losing weight, exercising, whatever the fuck you want to do, maybe that'll help. But even if you don't do any of that shit, just start taking swings, bro. Start failing. Take some losses, and then eventually you will fucking win. Where you going? You got to piss? I'm so clearly wrapping up the episode, but no, go piss.
No, go piss.
Go piss. I mean, hilarious stuff. I love Eldest, man.
There's a good chance that this caller would maybe needed advice, at which point they called in, but seeing these first 3 or 4 calls is now going, I got no problems.
He's
I'm just
out.
a guy who's a little bit slow to the game. Not a big deal at all. I agree with everything you're saying.
Yeah, dude, just you should make it your goal to get rejected because then you will someone will be into you. You got to free yourself of the worry of getting rejected. That's all it is. And that's like the fear of like, I remember again, being young and being scared of women who probably were also nervous. Yeah. And it's just like, they're just fucking people, man. Yeah. And when you're a fucking no pussy getting loser, it doesn't feel that way.
It can be fun. It can be fun throwing a few rejections in a row and going, hey, this ain't that big a deal. I can take it.
Totally.
And you do learn a lot about yourself, and it's not supposed to work out with everybody.
Yes.
That's the fun thing about dating is you should be able to, see someone, meet them, whatever, have a date and realize I don't really,
this would be a nightmare.
Yeah. I'm not really into this person or they're not really into me and be able to understand that because you've had the experience to go, not everyone's for me. Certainly I'm not going to be for everybody. You don't have to take it personally. But at 28 years of age, I don't think, and the fact that he mentions his age, I think is something that's interesting. And that's why, Stavvy and I both saying, oh yeah, here's where we were in our early 20s, not far off.
Totally.
You're on your own schedule. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. You'll be fine, little buddy. Get out there, try and get sucked off a couple times. It'll eventually work for you. This, I gotta say, this cold brew and the banh mi I had right before are really running through me. So we gotta end this one quick. Will, thank you for fucking being on.
Thanks
I gotta hit that
me.
bathroom Elders just hit within seconds.
Yay.
So please stick around. You know, if you got stuff to do, I won't take it personally if you leave, but I gotta hit that bathroom. See you guys. Talk to you next time.